Hey guys, it's San and welcome back to the BulbaSquad. Thank you guys for coming to today's live stream. And today, I've been very fortunate to have a special guest, actually a card store and channel that I look up to, and I like to look at their content to get a lot of information that I bring to you guys. And today I have Mason with Cardinal Gaming.
Hello, what's up, guys? How we doing? Thank
So
you.
today,
Hello, thank you. Appreciate you guys.
So today we're just going to be having a pretty chill live stream, just going to be talking, me and Mason, back and forth, a few questions, and whatever you guys have to ask. If there's
Yes, ask me questions, please. I would love to answer some questions that, just what people are thinking about from people that are interested in the card store and how it works and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm here. So fire away.
And so going off of Card Store right now, this one's going to be a pretty basic one. Would you advise anyone open up a card store? Because I actually have a few friends who are considering it.
Right now? Right now? Like right this second?
They're considering it like a few months later on towards fall. They're all thinking that it might be a good idea with certain spaces opening up and Pokemon and everything being in a good spot, and they're planning on how to try and survive.
That's important. Surviving is important. A lot of people seem to think it's just all positives and stonks and to the moon and, can't fail. But let me tell you, starting out right now would be extremely tough, especially getting sealed product. For Pokemon, Magic is fine. Obviously, that's not a big concern. But like if you want to do like Flesh and Blood or, all these other Digimon, all these other card games, it's going to be near impossible to get product. Because there's even established stores that are getting extremely hardly allocated, and to a point to where you want to like build a community and have a player base that's able to buy product and sell product and get singles and that kind of stuff. It's very, very difficult to get products. So would it be a good idea to start a store right this second? I would say so long as you have a nice broad base of products that you want to carry, and you don't want to be just a Pokemon store or just a Magic store or just diversification in any business is very important. But especially right now, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to be delayed. You can't bank on, Pokemon coming out on time, or Magic has they just had draft boosters for this new set delayed and all that stuff. So yeah, it's all really up in the air and kind of not very reliable. So you just gotta make sure you have all your bases covered. But yeah, if you just wanted to do Pokemon or something like that, it'd be very difficult. Especially a store like if you want to have like people come in and play, that kind of stuff. If you want to do, I always recommend if people want to test it and get an idea, or they just want to do like the buying and selling singles route, get a little office space, a little place that's easily accessible, and you can have people come in and buy and sell and that kind of stuff. If you want to do local stuff like that, that's a very good way to ease into it. A little office space like that would be pretty cheap, and you can run online sales if you want to do that off TCG Play or something like that out of an office, and you'd probably be doing just fine. So I would definitely dip your toe into it that way before you just go up and open a giant 4,000 square foot store. It's going to be a little hard to just stock it and keep the product in to keep that going, I think.
So I wanted to ask, how have you been holding up with all of this madness in the card game world? How have you been managing to not only keep your shelves stocked, but also being able, I know you try to offer some reasonable prices to the people who are local, from what you've said.
Yes, we do. So yeah, a lot of people, people are not familiar with my channel. I talk all the time about pricing and the balance and kind of like the stuff that as a consumer you probably don't think about, but as a store it's very important to strike that kind of a balance between pricing things to where it's reasonable and pricing things to where it slows down the trickle of stuff out of my store, because I don't know when I'm going to restock. I don't know when I'm going to get the next wave. Like we just had Battle Styles pushed back to next month at least is what they're saying. So I'm out of Battle Styles booster boxes. I have no ETBs. I have no sealed product for Battle Styles right now because I kind of goofed and I sold it too cheap, I guess, maybe. That's just kind of that's really how you got to look at it. I have to make this product stretch until I get restocks on it, and then when I have some breathing room, I can let's lower the price a little bit and move a little faster. It's very difficult and I don't want to say it's complicated, but it's something I'm always conscious of. I'm always checking prices. I'm always making sure, if I sell something, because we do a web store, if I sell 10 booster boxes overnight, that's probably an issue. That's good. That's awesome. I sold all these booster boxes, but yeah, you want to kind of slow it down there. If I only have 15 booster boxes to sell and I sell 10 of them overnight, there's somebody somewhere messed up, and it's going to be me with pricing. So yeah, it's definitely a thing that is hard. But for people that are local and people that do stuff like that, with Pokemon pre-releases in particular, I always do, just like if they came in and played, I do the $25 for the pre-release kit, just like I would for the local guys, so they don't have to get and worry about getting gouged in that regard for something that should be for people to come in and play and have fun and kind of just like a more casual experience. I always do the building battles and the 3 extra packs you normally get for just the normal $25, no matter what they are going. Like for Battle Styles, I think they were doing like $50, $60, something crazy for just the pre-release kit box. And I was selling it to all my local guys for $25 because it's been rough on them and it's hard, and even for single prices, it's way more expensive than it should be. So I try to do something to make it a little more reasonable for them. That's something I have to try to throw them a bone where I can every once in a while, because obviously it's pre-release should be something that's always expected, and my stock of that is pretty good. So I'm okay with letting that stuff go and doing it locally.
All right, so welcome to the stream, Alec M, Lucatrox, Phoenix Death Gaming, Philip 1158, and Briar Owen. So since one of them already asked a question I was going to ask you, may as well bring it up on the screen. So, Mason's thoughts on Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, so Flesh and Blood, it's so funny. I think, was I telling you this about when they sent me like a little like introductory kit?
Yeah, you threw it out.
And I was like, what's this card game from New Zealand? What is this? And I threw it away. I don't think I kept it, and it's a bummer because, hindsight. But
free money.
Yeah, Flesh and Blood is interesting. The timing is obviously very much to do with the pricing and all that. I mean, everything is just, going crazy and wild. I know the game is very similar to like Magic and things. The theming is obviously very similar. But yeah, it's a good, cool game. A cool game that has cool mechanics. I know it's a lot more fair and balanced than most card games off the rip. You can't get first turn donked, stuff like that in Flesh and Blood. So that's always a good thing. But yeah, obviously we've been in a market where we haven't seen people sitting down and playing that game in a tournament setting, at least in an LGS. So that's kind of been something that still needs to be tested, I think. Obviously people are buying and liking the game, and people are definitely buying to play and not just ride the first edition stuff or whatever. But yeah, from the first get-go, it looks good. I like it. The company sends out promos and stuff for people that buy product, and promos for people who, when there is play, that there's going to be some promos and stuff that we can give out. So that's cool. Something that from a new card game I wouldn't expect. So that's nice. But yeah, from a game standpoint, it's yet to be seen about how truly excited casual people are going to be, and how people are going to want to pick it up. Hopefully these because they don't have starter decks normally, right? Monarch is the first to have starter decks.
They've used starter deck, the Ira welcome deck. I believe those are being reprinted because the first round spiked to the moon, and with Monarch we are getting some first ones, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know the Monarch ones. I am getting some of those. but I didn't know they had another one. I just never had them in stock before, so that's cool. Yeah, obviously intro decks are obviously when I go to try to get somebody to play a game, obviously a $15-$20 whatever they are, I don't know what they are, starter deck is going to be the way to go instead of trying to push booster boxes, especially for the prices that booster boxes are currently for that. So yeah.
What I was gonna say is, if you're trying to get decks for people, you could always try and build or ask an employee, if for whatever reason they have free time, to build a deck from the Welcome to Wraith set, because that was like super baby steps. The moment you go to Arcane Rising, it's a massive increase in
Okay.
work you have to do. But that's why Welcome to Wraith was received so well by the players, because you have Ninja, who's combo. The Warrior is single strike. Yeah, all buffing one attack.
Yeah.
The Brute, I believe, was all out power, and then the Guardian was counters.
Okay, so they have like archetypes that are built in the first ones, and okay, I mean that's super smart. That's a smart way to do it. Obviously, you want your first set to be, obviously welcoming, but still show off the mechanics of the game and everything. So that's good. I'm speaking because I don't know how the game plays, just because I don't have people coming in and playing it to watch them. So that's just kind of the situation that we're in. But once people do, they'll I'll definitely be able to have stand by and watch and see how it goes down. And I know a little bit about it because I have a couple employees that are interested in the game. So, but yeah, I don't know anything about the intricacies of how it works. So,
all right. So I'm a big Flesh and Blood shill. Like, I love the card game. Contrary to what people believe, I love Flesh and Blood for the card game, not because it made me money. I don't have a single first edition booster box.
No, yeah, that's good. Champions of a game is very important. People that love the game and are very passionate about it, especially from a local standpoint, to have somebody that wants to see the game succeed, even if they just want to play locally, just have build a player base. It's super important for a store to have that, because I may be too busy, or my employees may be too busy to do stuff like that. But if I have somebody that is willing to donate their time, or maybe trade for sealed product, something like that, work out a deal for people that like want to do a learn to play night or something like that. Super important for new games like that to start, because we did Argent Saga, and we all know how that ended up. But yeah, but in the first get go, it was awesome. Just because the community was starting out and seeing people start, and Yu-Gi-Oh guys try to this new game, or Magic guys try this new game. It's just fun to watch, and people have a different experience from the typical same big three that we always see. So, like we do Vanguard here at the store a lot, and that's just a different card game. It's very different from other ones, so it's just fun to watch, just because it is so different.
So, since we're both very positive on it, what do you think? One of the people actually nailed it. We want to pull it up, sir. The other Flesh and Blood comment. No, the one below it. There we go. What do you think about the prices right now for Monarch? Because this is the big negative. It's turning so many people away from the game.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing this in pretty much all TCGs right now. I mean, I can't think of one other than Magic that is not moved some form of pricing. And even Magic is actually starting to do a little bit with sealed stuff. It's kind of interesting to watch, but yeah, you got to have affordable stuff to get people engaged and still, wanting to open up product and stuff like that. Them not being able to do that is never a good thing for your game, especially if you're starting out. So yeah, $800 for even of course their first edition, but still, I think that's just way above and beyond what any card game should be asking and are going for. Of course, they don't make the prices; they are what they are. But yeah, it's just, if they don't get the printing numbers up, or some way of controlling the pricing on this, it's going to be out of the reach of a lot of people. Especially people that just want to get into it, which is the hardest part of getting people to actually try the game. If you get people to try the game, you'll hook a good people that are okay, yeah, I'll buy a booster box or whatever, something like that. But yeah, for longevity's sake, you have to have something affordable for them to get into, or else $800 is just beyond what I can ask somebody to spend on a game they want to try out.
At $800, we're starting to talk. We're starting to talk some Sun and Moon era sealed boxes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not normal for a new release product, obviously, because with Unlimited, they wait a while before Unlimited comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's kind of a bad thing too. I mean, it's first edition. I understand the point of it, the collectability and all that is good about it, but yeah, having people have to pay out this much to get the brand new shiny stuff because it's first edition is kind of rough because down the road that person may not even be playing when Unlimited comes out again, because they got priced out. So that's just the positive negatives of having first edition stuff. It's just sometimes it runs away, and if you don't have the stock available for people to buy it relatively cheap, it's going to be rough. It's just so
Hey, James Brighter, and kind of following up with that, another negative. Someone brought up to me, I'm curious what's gonna happen to the first edition boxes, because there's a lot of people, a ton, who are just trying to sit on the sealed boxes like purely because they were already made to be investable, and a lot of people don't want to just crack the boxes, even though I feel as though it's one of the very rare situations where I can crack a box, and the single I'm going to pull from it most likely is going to be competitive with the box to some extent.
Right. Yeah. Kind of reminds you of another new card game, don't you? Does it kind of remind you of one that we might talk about here in a minute?
Yeah.
but yeah. First edition stamps are prestigious by nature. It's exclusive. It's supposed to be the premium version of whatever the card is, right? So it is inherently baked into when you stamp something and say, "Oh, this is the first version of this card." Yeah, it's going to be potentially more expensive and obviously can run away if it's super wildly successful. Obviously, Flesh Blood is doing great because people are wanting to buy the product, and I think even from the player standpoint, there are people that do genuinely want to play the game, and it's not just people gobbling up first edition boxes. So I think there is genuine interest in it. But yeah, if you don't control the prices and keep those prices in check by having a decent supply, you're being very dangerous from really crippling yourself and your player base, because you got to have a low entry point for people to want to get into it and to grow. So it's rough.
All right. So kind of following up on that, Phoenix Death was asking what your thoughts on Digimon. I have
same thing. Obviously, same thing. It's Digimon is also a game that is super cost prohibitive. The intro decks, even where they did have a lot that came out, they're gone instantly. When I had my small amount that I got, they flew away quickly. Just because they are so reasonable. I mean, I think people, and I know in Japan, Digimon is doing very well. It's a very good game from what people seem to think and what people are saying. But who can play it? You can't even get the cards to play. So what am I, from a store standpoint, what am I supposed to be doing? If I get a couple of weeks ago, they sent me 4 boxes of 1.0 and 1.5, and I have them priced because I want to hold on to them. But people see them and they just like, oh wow, you actually have booster boxes. Like, well, for now. But if I moved that probably $20 cheaper, they would all sell to the same person. So that's kind of just the bad thing about again the dangerous balance that you have to do with pricing is just you got to keep it in range and not unreasonable, but at least unreasonable to some, so that they don't buy you out. So yeah, Digimon is again a great game. A lot of good intro decks that people can pick up and play. Obviously, people like the IP; it's huge. It's got a lot of positives going for it, other than it's ran by Bandai. But other than that, because Bandai is so bad for LGS, and I've made a video about this about Digimon and taking like what I learned from Dragon Ball Super, which is also has tons of inflated value right now for some reason. I don't know why. But again, super strong IP, right? And super popular characters. And, if people wanted to collect card games and stuff, yeah, Dragon Ball is ideal, especially, the way the cards look. They look amazing. They look awesome. Digimon, I could go, but they need to do a little better. But yeah, Dragon Ball Super cards are beautiful. They're awesome. The art on them is amazing. And I love it. But yeah, the way that the game is played and the way that they've been running the game, and then now these stonkers coming in and inflating the prices, it's just a disaster for people that actually do genuinely want to play the game.
Yeah, with Dragon Ball Super, I tried understanding it financially, but I just couldn't get past the fact that it wasn't that long ago. I was buying a bunch of different booster boxes for like 40, $50. They were so cheap online.
I was trying to get rid of the I think it was set 5, I think it was, maybe set 6, I don't remember which one it was, but I had so much of it, just tons. I ended up giving it away, and all the bulk that I had, because I had probably 20,000 cards of bulk, and I just gave them away to somebody that I know that likes the game, because they had no value. There's no value there. And then of course now the prices have all inflated and gone crazy. So it's interesting what they're going to do with it. And it's Bandai, so they do some kind of weird kooky thing sometimes. It's very weird, and to get product even and to get into pre-releases, you have to order in advance, and they have the exclusivity with 2 different distribution chains, so you have to be with them to even carry the product, and then you have to be in this program so you can get pre-releases and promos and stuff. It is way more of a hassle than it should be, and the support that Bandai gives is absolutely terrible. Even the websites that they use are poorly translated, in broken English, and the information they give out in emails is terrible. It's not good. It's just a miserable experience to try to run and support these games that obviously people do have interest in and do want to buy and support, but it's just so hard to get all these promos and stuff that people want, and you have to pre-order the product 3 months in advance.
Oh my god!
So I have no idea if that's good, bad, whatever. I have no idea. So that's why I got stuck with so much of whatever set that I had. So much of it was a dud set, and I ordered like 8 cases of it, and it was sat there, and I was sat on it till I think like May of last year. I finally sold the last box of it, or gave it away. I gave a couple boxes away. It just sat for that long, for like the 2.5 years or however long it was that it's been out. It's crazy. Yeah.
Knowing all that, because it just again makes me just personally uneasy about Dragon Ball Super. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. It found some form of footing, but I need to investigate that further. But as Briar Owen asked us a while back, what are the promos for Chilling Brain pre-release? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up that much.
I think I don't know if they showed off what they thought they would be. I don't remember seeing. I thought I remember seeing something about that. I do not know what they are going to be. There shouldn't be anything crazy though. I think it should be all just be playable stuff like Battle Styles was, because nothing comes to mind that is. It'd have to be like a regular holo or rare in the set, and I can't think of anything that'd be like super like, oh my god, buy it, stonks, because there's no Charizard, nothing like that. So yeah, I don't know what they are.
Ever since Vivid Voltage, all the pre-release kits have been getting messed up. I expect no different from Chilling Brain.
Yeah. It's just, the first chance for you to get your hands on these cards, and if you are worried about value, that's when the value is the most, is, when they first come out. So yeah, pre-release stuff is just going to be heavily sought after, just because it's the very first we'll see of those cards. So yeah, it's going to be miserable. It's going to be expensive, and there's going to be nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, man. I started getting a little annoyed with Pokemon just because everyone was getting so salty about it, and that's part of why
I'm getting annoyed with Pokemon because of just how it's been going. Obviously, the demand is just so super high. And I don't know if you want to talk about this right this second or not. Or we can save it and bank it.
We got 3 hours to kill.
Oh yeah. But yeah. because I hear on the channel, and people again don't understand pricing and they don't understand the supply and just how hard it is to get this product. And that, yes, if you see booster boxes on my shelf behind me, or premium boxes behind me, it's not because I have tons of it sitting there. That is probably all I have. And they just think I have tons of it just sitting in the back. No, that's not how it is. And again, it's people say stuff about the prices. It's just because, like, this is all I have. I have to last. This is it. I may not get any more, Shining Fates until 3 months from now. When they do a reprint or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it because
really
if I don't price it that way, I'm gonna just miss out on that money anyways. Because by the time that the reprint rolls around, I'm gonna be hurting for product, and the prices are gonna be astronomical. And proof of fact, look at Hidden Fates. The Hidden Fate prices and those booster boxes, the ETBs, were $250 last summer, and they did reprints. They went down to $150, and people are finding them locally, which is awesome and good. That's how reprints should work. But then they got upset with me because I was telling people that I was buying them at $150 from a distributor. The last case that I bought was $1,500, and I sold them for like $180. Not even a lot. I made $30 a box off of those. So it's just like I have to, because either I sell it for a low price and get rid of it, or I just raise the price up a little bit, and eventually the market's going to rise up to it anyways, because we've already seen that be the case. It's going to happen.
You're essentially stuck with the idea of, do I wait and just it'll grow up, I'll be able to sell it, or do I just disappoint customers and they're not going to think about coming back? Either way, it really sucks.
And what is more disappointing? Seeing that price, or seeing that product on my shelf for a very expensive price, or just having my shelves be empty? I mean, that's the other thing that I have to worry about. I have to worry about having product. If somebody wants to trade me singles and get sealed product, I don't have the sealed product to give them. I could potentially not get that trade, and that's all feeding into that stuff of, you're putting that single stuff towards potentially more expensive sealed product, but it is the value of what it is, and I have to keep that cycle going. I have to have that product available to that kind of stuff, because that's where the actual margins are, not in pricing these things 10% above the market. My stonks, my money, my tendies are in singles and buying singles from people and selling singles. So that's the goal. I have to have that stuff to entice them to bring me singles, or else that cycle falls apart.
One thing I have been hearing, though, is there's been a lot of stores, because it's the first time that a distributor leverages other stores against each other. Like, oh, you don't want it? Well, there's another store who's willing to pay that right now.
Right. I mean, obviously, these price changes are them trying to both do the same thing as I am, slow down how fast they move this product. And, obviously, if they're pricing it at that, somebody has to be buying it at that, or else they wouldn't, they would lower the price, just like, how free market works. So, at $150 for a Hidden Fates ETB, I thought, yeah, it's extremely expensive, but even if I do have to hold them, or the price crashes or whatever, it's a good product. It's an awesome ETB. It's the highest level of product that is from that set. Eventually, the price will rise where I can, not take a bath on it if something happens. So that's all the stuff that we're thinking about, as a store, and whether or not something is a good deal. Did I just probably feed into them and let them know that, yeah, stores are going to be willing to do that? Probably, but that's the market right now. We're in what do they always say? Trying times, not trying times, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
everybody talks about pandemic stuff. So
all right, so I guess we'll be taking a step back. Briar Owens asked, if the Dragon Ball Super game itself just crashed, what do you think would happen to some of those secret rares? There are lots of people who love to collect them, and the signature cards.
Yeah, the signature cards. I don't think the signature cards are going to go anywhere. Like, those are, again, the cards look amazing on their own, and then they put the signature on them, which makes it look even more better. They took a huge play out of Vanguard's book and Bushiroad, because Bushiroad does it all the time, even with their Weiss Schwartz, where they have, you know, with popular animes and IPs and stuff like that, they'll have like the voice actor sign it, or, you know, put their signature on it, and that'd be like the, you know, the premium hit that people like. So that's really cool. But yeah, signature cards are never going to go anywhere. Those cards are locked in gold. You know, they're never going to go down in price because they're just so, they look so good. Obviously, the product is gone because that happened, and especially, you know, the first set. Oh God, what was that set called? Where they first had the signatures? I don't remember. But those boxes were already hard to find, anyways. So they were destined to be at the price that they are now. So yeah, signatures are never going to go anywhere. And yeah, even the secret rares. I mean, yeah, they're the brand of Dragon Ball Super is so strong. Dragon Ball is so popular. Those cards will always have a home with, you know, a collector of somebody that, you know, is a big fan of the anime, or, you know, whatever.
I mean,
Pokemon. So yeah, those aren't going anywhere. Yeah, I mean, Pokemon same way. Yeah, you know, if they stopped making sets of Pokemon, the new Pokemon sets, would the Charizard go down in price? No, I mean, it'd be just as strong, and wouldn't even be worried about that, you know. So yeah, it's just Dragon Ball Super has been going on long enough where it's been a good seller. It's had mass produced sets, and cards are widely available. If people do want to play it, they can play it, of course. But they also have awesome looking cards, and they will be collected till the end of time. So yeah, they will be worth as much as Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball fans are willing to pay, and trust me, they will pay, you know, the prices for them. That's not going to go or change anytime.
So, since you're actually, contrary to what people believe, you're not completely for the booster boxes at these prices, what do you think about Chilling Reign being 160 to 170 out the gate? Like right now, we're still in pre-order.
Yeah, can I address what you just said about?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And I'll bring the. No, I don't like these prices. I don't want them to be so expensive. I am not in favor of this. Please don't take anything I say as like, yes, this is awesome. Because because I want to sell these booster boxes. I have the audience and the people that watch my channel where I could sell booster boxes all day long if I wanted to. And my website gets enough traffic where I could sell probably you know, multiple times the amount of booster boxes I've sold for Battle Styles, even, for example, if they were at a normal price. If I could get more of this product and it would be more reasonably priced, I would make more money. That's not how math works. If I can get 5 times as much product and sell that at whatever the regular margins are, I'd be making more money. This doesn't help me. It makes me mad too. So yes, it's a problem. Just because I'm telling you that it's not going to change isn't my fault. But yeah, that's. But yes. Anyways, booster box prices. Am I surprised that they're that much? No, because the set's amazing. First of all, yeah. Everybody. There's just so much in that set for everybody. It's awesome. Whoever constructs Pokemon sets is just blown it out of the park. You know, it's just, they're killing it.
I'm an ardent believer in, if they just keep the alternate arts and just keep going forward with it, or things of that level, we'll never have a Steam Siege or Crimson Invasion, because they'll be playing to their strengths every single time. If
you make a card, even if of just like not a Charizard, it doesn't have to be a Charizard. I mean, Battle Styles has proven that. You know, that set should be a dud by all regular standards, but it's not, because they have the alternate arts in it, and that is the primo chase cards, just because they look so awesome. And you know, even Magic and Strixhaven is doing the same thing with these mystical archives. Beautiful cards. Doesn't matter the set. I don't know what's in the regular set. I have no idea. I just care about the mythical archives and how beautiful those cards are.
I know a bunch of people who are actually going into Magic just to collect those cards. Some people I've never seen have any interest in Magic.
It is a huge phenomenon, and I was actually going to make a video about casual collecting in Magic, because before Strixhaven, it's just not a thing. It's never been a thing. But yeah, just these cards, they've made as much art. I think I said this before. They made 3 sets worth of art for Strixhaven, you know, and it's just like, It's the best art that Magic has ever put out. The best cards, the best card quality. The card quality is actually good. They don't curl, and the etch foilings are actually good. So yeah, Magic is obviously learning, and I think we're going to start seeing them catch up, and people be really excited about Magic again, just because there is a market that is now growing for Magic that actually just wants to collect the cards because they just look awesome.
All right. So, do you think the demand will slow down in the summers now that the virus situation's finally coming under control, everything's going down, and people are going to start spending money on other things?
Cameron, can you say whether or not you're particularly talking about Pokemon or just card games in general?
All right.
The answer is different. I know he's
all right. If he answers,
Cameron types some other stuff. So yeah. Well, I'm watching the chat too. So if I see it, I'll. But no, I don't think. I don't think as a whole that the market is going to slow down even through the summer. Okay, so yeah, was talking just about Pokemon. Okay, no, Pokemon is of all of the card games, it's not going to slow down at all. You got Eevees, and then you got 25th anniversary. This ain't going anywhere. This is just. We may be at the point where, like, man, I wish prices were like how it was in Battle Styles, because prices might be crazy here down the road. I think that singles prices for the next two sets are going to be insane. Even for Chilling Reign, you're going to see cards that are extremely expensive. Waifus are a thing and out in force for Chilling Reign. So
think of Vivid Voltage case where there's so many cards in that category, it just makes every one of them harder to pull.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I mean, that's the issue with larger sets in general, and because alternate arts are in the same slot as ultra rares, and amazing rares are in the same slots as reverses, and the shinies are in the same slot as reverses. So yeah, it's obviously that's the chase, that's the fun, that's what gives them inherent rarity and value. But yeah, when you spread it so thin, it's going to be, that's how even more it compounds that even more because of just how hard these things are to pull.
Oh yeah, and if my theory turns out to be correct, oh man, it's going to blow up during the 25th anniversary, because this is no grounds at all, and I've been convinced of this. Pokemon is going to have some form of Shining set. I would love a Neo Shining reprint, and if that were to happen, oh man.
Now see, that would actually be cool. People are saying Neo, reprint Neo. No, don't reprint Neo. Just get the little flavors, pick up little hints from there. Bring those Pokemon Gen 2 back. Awesome. That's cool. That's a great idea. But don't straight reprint. That's just so silly. I'd hate to see that. Even like an evolution style of a reprint. I don't want to see that for Neo. Personally, I wouldn't want to see that.
Yeah,
but either you can recycle the art, or you can maybe like be inspired from it, and maybe like do an alternate art version of what that was, or something cool. But yeah, that'd be, don't make a new like evolutions where it's don't do that.
I pray that for whatever they release, they print the hell out of it. Please, I want to be able to open it.
I mean, that's the thing. That's probably, and hopefully that's why we're seeing these delays, and what with all this is that obviously they have to be devoting a lot of time to hopefully Chilling Reign. And then when Chilling Reign is out doing its thing, they're going to be printing the hell out of the Eevee sets and printing the hell out of the 25th anniversary set, because yeah, I mean, you have to already be thinking about and printing that kind of stuff to, I think, meet demand. So have to.
I'm just going to give this one a short answer. What do I think will be the most printed COVID set? The 25th anniversary. I feel like that's going to be a bar none.
Oh, he's reprinted is what he says. Reprinted.
Reprinted. Oh, reprinted. Okay.
What would be the most reprinted? Hi, James, by the way. I know that you are in PokeGals chatting a lot, so it's cool to see you here.
Yeah, hey, James.
I mean, I would love for it to be Vivid Voltage, just because the set is so good.
Yes.
I just think you can print that forever, and you'd probably be selling it.
I feel as though if alternate arts didn't come in, Vivid Voltage would have been at the top of the hill. I argue it's better than Shining Fates.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I think right now we need that more than we need a Shining Fates reprint. Obviously. I mean, I think so. The standard sets are so important to the playability of the game. So that's got to be the thing that Pokemon's thinking about. And yeah, just, your big, more expensive sets that are out of control. Vivid Voltage is out of control. It's been out of control. It's never been in control. Let's say that. It's never been in control. So it's just been a runaway train since it came out. I was totally wrong on my set analysis of it and what the prices were going to do, but who knew? And I always say, and I point this out all the time, how much of a set is printed? And for it to be sold out a week after the set releases, where Pokemon says, okay, all this reserve what we had, push it out and make sure it gets stocked. And then that sells out 2 weeks later. And then you have nothing. So 3 weeks when Vivid Voltage went and rolled into actual play and was legal to play in standard, it was not available, sold out. That's crazy. That's insane. Like, if you're running a card game, again, that is not what you want to see, and it's not good for your playable, your people that want to play the game. And again, from an LGS store, that's what I'm having to think about, is people that want to play the game.
So it's actually perfect to roll into this question. Basically, Cameron's talking about that he thinks it's wrong if an LGS is more expensive than eBay. So it seems pretty much in the same ballpark. What do you see that why stores are doing that at all, being higher than eBay?
Well, again, you want to make it so that you have to hold on to the product. Is really the easy answer to it. And obviously, this would never be the case if we were not in the situation that we're in. But I would be questioning why eBay prices are so high to begin with, especially if you think of the secondary market and where those prices are coming from. It's more than likely not LGSs. TCG Player was where all the LGSs are putting all their sealed product on. I haven't sold Pokemon sealed on eBay for forever. I think I maybe sold some graded cards on there recently, but that's it. So all that stuff that's on eBay is either from new companies that are coming in from distribution and just buying them just to sell out of their house, or it's from people that buy out Walmarts and Targets and sell them on eBay. That's where that price comes from. So that's really the question: is why is that so high? And the honest answer is because people pay it. That's why these prices are what they are. And the same thing if I'm a store, I'm an established store that people can walk into, or I have an address, I have a place where people can come, and if you have a problem, I have a phone number that you can call. People on eBay don't have that, and just the trust factor is enough to elevate me above a dude that is selling out of his car in a Target parking lot or on eBay. It just is. And again, if prices were not that way, I would be bought out by those people that are selling on eBay and stuff. So that's just the answer. Is not to say because I can. It's because people will buy from me at that elevated price because they know that I'm an established business. I'm a trusted source of sealed product, and you don't have to worry about it being resealed or having issues like that. And if you do have an issue, you know where to find me. I'm in this building 5 days a week, here for 8 hours a day. If you have a problem, you know where to go to find me. So that's the short and sweet answer to that, is because I'm an established store, and yes, to keep it in my store, because if you can buy it on eBay, and you want to risk it, for sure, you can do that. But again, there's plenty of people out there that, again, do not want to risk it and want to buy from a trusted source. So that's why prices are what they are, and why stores price the way they do. And there's a lot more that goes into that, obviously, but yeah, that's the easiest way to explain.
So, Briar Owen, we can't really talk too much about EV Heroes because we know almost nothing about that set. It will be coming to English. All Japanese sets do come to English sooner or later.
Yeah, eventually. Yep.
Bits or pieces of it. The worst case has been, I believe, Tag All Stars, where it just got everywhere. They just threw it everywhere. We're still waiting on that set. And will it be part of the 25th anniversary? We don't know, honestly. It's just we need more information as of now. Unless if unless if Mason knows something we don't.
I do not. I wish I did. My speculation was that it would be part of the 25th set, because there could potentially be other standard sets that roll out after that. Because I don't know how large. We don't know how large the Eevee Hero set's going to be. If it's just the Eevees and like 40 other cards, potentially they could do like where they roll that into the 25th anniversary set, like they did with they did the Japanese starter like intro decks, and they put those into Hidden Fates. So like why we had the Gyarados GX and all those cards in Hidden Fates was because those were from those starter decks in Japan, and that's how we got them in Hidden Fates. So they could potentially do that, yes, but that would mean that we'd have to have another standard set in the winter, and I don't know what that would be. So yeah.
Do you know if the Mystical Archives are part of standard? I don't know anything about them.
I think there is stuff that is marked, whether or not it can be in standard or not. I think they have. I wish I had some back here. I don't know if I still do. I don't think I do. But I think they're marked. They have like a stamp on them or something that says that they're commander only or standard or something. I think. But yeah, I think they're like a special thing.
This one's a spicy one. Do you think that grading prices will return to the way they were last year? Seems like it was way too cheap to begin with. Yeah, people are
really okay. Interesting. My take on graded cards is different from most because as an LGS store, I don't deal with a lot of graded stuff. I do. I don't particularly like to sell it because it's normally in normal conditions slow moving. I have to sit on very expensive cards forever before somebody that wants that card walks in and buys it. So typically I don't buy graded stuff and deal with that kind of stuff. But will they go back to that? We'll have to see what happens with PSA, CGC, and all the stuff that they're going to do when they open back up. I think if people that want to have graded collections and collect whatever in graded stuff, and there's not that supply coming back, this is after they work through the backlog, which is going to create its own issue. But I think that's going to push prices down, especially for cheaper stuff. I've always said, I've made videos on that as well. But I think the lowering of the prices that we've seen, especially on like WotC stuff, I think is just correction from that big spike, and that we will. I don't think it's going to crash for high quality, high graded and high value cards. That's not going to crash. I don't think. I think we're going to see more of a gentle like leaf float down to where it probably should be in what it would have done traditionally. Obviously November was a huge spike of pricing, so it's got to correct for it to balance out, and for the law of collectibles to do their thing is a slow gradual climb. So yes, that should be something that I think it'll float back down, but I don't think it'd take another really crazy event to make that go back up again. I don't know what that would be. How do you beat last year? I don't know. You would be very hard pressed to come into last year.
That'll be interesting if we ever get to beat last year. But yes, Alec, this is a record. We have never broken double digits on a live stream. You know what?
Hey.
Thanks, Mason, for that.
Hey, got that bump. I got that kind of power. I know.
All right, so it's actually perfect that this question came up because now we can build back off of it. PSA announced that they are now investing in computer-based grading. Are the older slabs going to lose value? What is y'all's opinion? Before, I'll give you a little bit of time to think about that. My opinion before on do I think the grading prices will go down? They might go a little down, but historically, when a business pushes prices up, they don't like bringing them back down. And regardless, PSA, remember, we refer to them as the gold standard. They should demand a bit of a premium considering 9 times out of 10, PSA sets the market price. Though only one that will inch them out every now and again is Beckett with their pristine pens. So I just can't see them lowering their prices to how they were last year. And I do agree they were too cheap.
You think so? You really do?
I do because
For high end stuff or high graded stuff? Is that what you mean? Or you talking about WotC or just in general? Or just I'm interested in your opinion on this.
Thinking it was too cheap for the grading. It was
the price for the actual service of
the actual
grading.
service. That's what I was talking about.
Yes. Yeah. You look for the premium that grading gives a card, for it to be $10 is insane. Like, that's just too cheap. Come on, that's just silly.
Especially considering you could send in like $1,000 cards, and sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, whatever, let it go by."
Yeah, I mean, or just even for the mid range stuff that's not super expensive, you could double or triple the price of a card that's being graded. I mean, there used to be like a rule of hand where if something got a 10, it'd be 10 times what it would be raw.
Mm-hmm.
And then for 9s, it would be 5 times, and then you'd kind of do trickle down from there. It used to have like that kind of a nice, clean calculation of that. It doesn't anymore. But
now it's just everywhere.
So if you sent in a 10 of a card that was worth $50 raw, for it to be turned into $500 if it gets the 10 for $10 is silly. It's just that's how we got in this weird, wild frenzy of grading cards to begin with, because you could make thousands of dollars on a single submission if you got good grades on all your stuff. That's how we got here. That's how the prices being too low is why we have all this insane premium on stuff, and then people flipping these cards, flipping things for grades, and then obviously PSA and CGC getting flooded with the stuff because the money was, it was there, normal conditions. So yeah, that's why millions of cards have been sent off for grading in the last year, because it was to make money. It's not because people wanted to do it or because they love whatever card they were sending in. It's because they could make money off of it. Anyway,
if any of you guys have any of Mason's older videos, he actually had a collection purchase he bought. I believe it was CGC graded cards. They had like the Charizard 10 promos from Hidden Fates.
Yes.
Those were just random garbage in
like it got like a 7.5 or an 8, or I don't know what it was. It was like, and you look at the prices and they were just so with CGC it was what, $10 to grade or $8? What is it? Do you know?
I think right now it's gone up to $15, 50 card submission.
Right. But whatever it was before, whatever this guy sent him in, and this guy sent him in. This is how, I don't want to take too big of a shot at him, but he sent him at a higher level of submission to get him back, so quickly.
You did say that. Super
and
like that.
And it was like $20 more than what the card was raw. And it's just like, you would not ever make money on this. Like, there's no kind of a bull market that would establish that, because it's just a regular card at that point. A run of the mill, probably even like a worse than normal card that you could get out of a 10 is, yeah. But yeah.
Okay, so kind of rounding back off to it, from your experience, do older slabs usually demand less of a premium? Because right now they're asking if we're going to see that again now that computer grading is coming in.
Yeah. So older slab, I'm assuming that they're going to have some sort of, because I know that WADA does this kind of stuff where they have like a QR kind of level of coding on it that allows you to track and like keep like that information of like who has it and who owns it, that kind of thing. Because they have like a way of submitting when sales happen. And I'm assuming they're going to have the same thing for PSA. But probably, I don't know if older slabs are going to lose value, but I think the new slabs will probably have a renewed value. Hopefully they'll do something special where you can resubmit and just reslab it. That'd be probably a good idea. I mean, that would make sense to me, but I don't know. Who knows if that's actually going to be a thing.
Yeah, the experience I've had was, I think about 5 or 6 months ago now, I had an opportunity to buy an Ancient Mew, but it was from like I think the cert number was 500,000, give or take. It was really old, and it was substantially cheaper than the other Mews I had seen, probably by a
Yeah.
good 20-30%.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the difference will be that big, but I could definitely see a little bit of a different price difference, a little bit of a premium, since you'll finally get more consistency and not like I send in what looks like a 10 or 9 and it comes back a 3, because I've seen that a few times now.
Yeah, I mean, if there was just a way to just reslab it, I'm sure that there'd be a lot of people that would take advantage of that if it was for a reasonable price. Because yeah, I think the tracking, the ownership tracking is enough to make it even worth the uh, whatever the cost would be to do that. I think it's just a point would be a good thing to have on any card. Just be much easier to sell, I think, if you can track where that card has been. But yeah.
All right. Depends on how people themselves feel. There was a card. Great. Card great. All right. Any other questions we got, sir?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really touch on the computer aspect of the grading. I think it's the answer to fix the problem of things just being so backlogged and just the time that would take to grade 10 million cards. How do you get through that without a computer helping you? It'd be impossible. You'd always be behind.
I'm hoping they finally catch up. It will be so nice to have PSA have a standard like turnaround time again. I sent in some cards in, I believe, August. Yeah, August now. And right now they're in research and verification, I believe is what it's called. It's like they just got there. Like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah, yeah.
And that was with Graded Gem, who gets better turnaround times than most people.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing too is middlemen. How is that gonna work? Just even going forward, how do you give preference to somebody that's sending you cards for cheaper? It's just is a weird concept in general. I know being a vendor is something that PSA has, and obviously there's a fee or something that they, because I've looked into it. I don't know what it is, but where you have to submit so many to hit that threshold. So obviously they're good customers, but when you have a 10 million card backlog, what is it? What do you need the back, or what do you need loyal customers for?
From what I understood, it's the way it was explained was like buses. When everyone has their own vehicle, it kind of jams it up because some people are bad drivers. Some people are just not going to know what they're doing. Whereas if everyone's on the buses, you can make a straight line and it brings a little more order to it.
But if you had a toll bridge and and people and you're making money off of how many vehicles go through, you're getting a lot less for that bus than you are for all these single vehicle or single family vehicles. So I'm sure they've done the math, and that's just something I think about. But I'm sure that I wouldn't say that they know what they're doing, but they have thought about that.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on a crash? Like, for those of you that don't know mine, it's essentially I think one's coming just because historically intrinsic value has been tied to the box price, and we're in a very precarious situation right now because of that. If you would like me to expand on that, I don't mind at all.
Go ahead, because I wanna see where you're at completely before I.
Okay, so historically, from what I've seen, because my understanding of intrinsic value being tied to the box price, intrinsic value also EV, was derived from Rudy and Magic, which ordinarily they can deviate heavily in Magic. That's just how it works. Like to give you guys a perfect example, a box that would be the age of a WotC box will usually be worth like 30% of the box price, and that's very normal. That's just what they expect. In Pokemon, though, we usually have a pretty good correlation, somewhere between 50 to 60 or 70% of the box price, and that's very healthy. The strange one right now is in pseudo vintage, which I've been getting a grasp on that, and I can still see correlations in how it works there. But in modern, with all the junk slabs coming back, it'll drive the intrinsic values down of various cards, in my opinion. And if it drives it too far down, we'll start having a disconnect between the box price and the intrinsic value, going much further away from each other than they ordinarily do. Now, we have a few scenarios that can occur. One, Pokemon has at long last turned the page and they can go their separate ways. There's equal demand for singles and for the sealed boxes. They can deviate away from each other because they're both collectible assets. However, if that has occurred, we must never flip back, or there will be a price correction and it'll be very steep. The second is if the boxes themselves have now been the primary collectible asset, in which case it doesn't matter. The cards can go to zero, but people will keep wanting the sealed product because now that is the primary collectible. Again, in that situation, we must not go back. If we go back, the price will have to come back to earth to meet the intrinsic value at some like 70% correlation, somewhere that's pretty reasonable. And the third situation would be if we're just in a straight bubble, which that one I had to at least consider it. I think that one's less likely. I think the other two are more possible, and it's just a very precarious situation because, again, we cannot revert back.
Wow. Can you guys just like the video, like the stream, just because of that explanation? Just
I'm planning to make a video on it.
If that's not worth a like, I don't know what to tell you. But no, I mean that's definitely makes sense. Sealed, especially booster boxes, are in such a weird spot right now, and I don't like it. I don't like that black and white boxes are thousands of dollars. I think that is so silly. Hey, Pokegal's here. Hey, Pokegal.
Hey.
I think that is so. Sure. It makes sense, but it doesn't. And why they're expensive is why it doesn't make sense. They're so expensive because, and I did a video about this too, because there's so few of them on the market, not necessarily because they are truly rare. Just the amount of people that want to sell them right now is rare, or they've been all bought up and people, all that's left up there is the ones that were the most expensive. So yeah, box prices in general, I think are just really, really crazy. And I think everybody's wanting to hold as opposed to sell, just because if sealed prices are, if graded prices are going crazy and are way inflated and more expensive, where you get those highly graded things from is, those things are going to just go up in price. You compound that with the people that are busting boxes, like live break channels and stuff like that. Obviously, that's even makes it even more and more in demand and selling, and the market is there from people that want really cool boxes, older, rarer boxes to sell, to open up on their channel and sell the packs out of. But so there's that, and I think that what you were saying with it being correlated in normal market times, yes, it should be, but it's definitely not that way anymore. There's nothing you can get. Like the example I gave was like plasma freeze, plasma blast, those weird like middle of the road black and white set. The highest PSA sold thing I think was like $350 or something like that, and the boxes themselves are like what, $4,000 or something. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
they've probably gone up since then. It doesn't make any sense. That is far beyond what should be expected. And yes, that box is rare, and that box sealed has value in its own. That's obviously goes without saying, but it's just too far deviated. It's just too far out of sync there to make sense.
Yeah, anyone who's considering buying the pseudo vintage era boxes, I'm considering making a video kind of to try and show people how to start finding the correlation, because the closer they are, the safer you will be relatively in this bull market. But the strangest thing I've seen was, because a lot of those sets were dead sets, the PSA population was low, and it kind of drove the prices of the singles up. Yep. So it almost justifies some of the higher prices. But Furious Fist,
sure. Yeah.
Oh, I can't figure that one out.
Yeah. Those were traditionally Furious Fist is another player set. It was not a collectible set.
Okay,
Furious Fist and Flashfire were both. Well, Flashfire had the Mega Charizard, so that is what you'd say is a collector's set. Furious Fist, I think, had like Mega Lucario, which is cool, but it's not like super stonky, as popular as Lucario is. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say if it's justified or not because obviously you look at different eras and it's different, for all of them. So,
yeah, like I said, if we turn the page, it is what it is. I'm not going to mind. It'll be nice seeing the grand scheme of things change, but it is worrisome because we cannot go back, like I said.
Yeah.
But we'll provide. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say again. I've talked about the pull rates. During Black and White were absolutely terrible. You're talking 3 or 4 EXs out of a box. A secret rare, I think, was like 3 or 2 per case or something like ridiculous. Like it was miserable. I mean, if you got a secret and 4 EXs, you got a good box because that's just like the kind of and they had just started doing full arts, so those were a thing. But yeah, so if you got a full art and a secret and a couple more EXs on top of that, you had a good box. So we're really spoiled right now of how it used to be. But yeah, you could buy a black and white box and have absolutely nothing amazing in it, and you just paid as much as any card out of that set in PSA 10. I don't know.
So, what's the reprint schedule look like? As of right now, all I know is 2 things are coming, and that's pushback. That's it.
I think I talked about this in a video here recently. I have Vivid Voltage on the way. 14 boxes. That's it. And again, like I said in the video, if that is
crash the prices, man, be careful.
I mean, that's the thing. It won't even put a dent in it. That's if you're going to print to that amount, what's the point? Why bother printing enough where I get 4 boxes or 14 boxes? I'm sorry. Yeah, like that does nothing to help demand or lower prices or do anything like that. It's just that's the only thing that we have mentioned in reprints. That's all I know. That's all I have information on. Is just Vivid Voltage. That's it. Darkness Ablaze had a small reprint here recently, like February-ish, I think is when I got the last bit of those. But yeah, that's it. That's all we have. And there's nothing forecasted that I know of. I think everything is just being devoted to these new sets coming out because they want to stay on top of the demand for modern stuff and current stuff. Not I'll say modern and confused terms, but current stuff that is out right now.
Yeah, I was gonna make a video about that.
Yeah, which means that no, we'll probably never see a Cosmic Eclipse reprint.
Oh yeah.
We'll never see a Unified Minds reprint again. We'll never see an Unbroken Bond. We'll never see the Sun and Moon sets reprinted. We're too far out now. You're seeing that stuff roll out of standard. In August, it's going to be Sword and Shield on, and we'll never see a reprint on those. And, all these people that, I'm going to hold out and wait for the reprint. I'm going to keep waiting. They said that it was going to come, and then it never came. And now we're all boned because these prices are going to explode and take off. And, the secret Pikachu and Cosmic Eclipse, if you're waiting on the reprint to pick one of those up, sorry, you probably are going to be, you're looking at a card that has potential to hit 120, 150, maybe in a year for that card. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if that is how much those cards were. Alternate arts from those sets, forget about it. They're going to be insane. It's crazy.
Yeah, me and Sarah were talking about it. And what I said was it feels like Pokemon's just rallying their forces. And one of 3 things is happening. They're devoting everything to the anniversary, or they're trying to keep all the modern sets in stock. Or the third thing, which it would be rather frightening if they did. They've just been printing stuff in secret for a massive wave of just different things. Like, all right, reprint coming. Okay, now it's coming.
Yeah,
And
yeah, but why though? Like,
bullshit.
why do it in secrecy or not announce if they're reprinting it? You know, I just don't think there's any
Yeah,
reason for that or what they would gain from that.
I'm
Even
just
if they just did, even if they just did Sword and Shield, and you know, they were so overstocked on Sword and Shield. I don't know if you uh, have any knowledge about stocks or the levels of what that stuff was printed.
yeah.
Sword and Shield was everywhere. That box was so cheap, and of course, it's a core set. It's a starter set of a block of the generation block. So, like, you know how we're still getting Sword and Moon, Jesus, Sun and Moon, like booster packs from regular Sun and Moon, the base set. It's the same thing. They did the same thing with Sword and Shield. We printed tons and tons and tons of that, so we'd have that for years, right? And they were doing that so much that when Rebel Clash came out, they were doing those 2-pack blisters where you could get a Rebel Clash and a Sword and Shield in one for the price of a single pack. Do you remember seeing those, or had any knowledge of that, Sam?
I think I did. Not.
It was very, very limited because even then it was an awesome deal.
The double blisters. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, with the Sword and Shield and the Rebel Clash
Yes.
are all together. But it was the same price, or it was like a price of like 1.5 packs. It was super cheap. Like it was like I could buy those for less than I could buy a booster box of Rebel Clash for, and then have basically 2 booster boxes worth.
Yeah, I know a store.
Why would I not do that?
I think bought something like 1,000 of the bonus packs. It was ridiculous how much he bought.
Yeah. So, and like when they announced the price of that, because it was like $250 for a store to buy, I was like, "What is this? That's insane. This can't be right. What is this?"
Again for Vivid Voltage.
It's just like that's how many Sword and Shield packs they had because they were trying to move the product and keep it, make it worth it. So they threw all these extra packs out basically for free, and now they wish they probably had them back so they had booster boxes that actually move around and for this crazy stuff. But obviously that was way before we knew what was happening last year. So.
I'm sad I missed the ship on Sword and Shield base. Like I talked about it with Sarah probably back in, I believe, June. I'm like, that's too cheap. That's too cheap. Like it looks good. The spider system checks out, and then it did stupid and went up to 250, which I think it overshot it, but whatever. I'm currently trying to figure out this question by Alec M. Because of the pandemic coming to a close, potentially decreasing demand for Pokemon and increasing printing mixed with the insane amount of Timmy money in the game right now, how do you think that will affect the market? There we go. Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, because I think there's like a 20 character or 1,000. Wait, Jesus,
Okay.
200 character cap.
Thanks
so
for that.
you probably had to. Yeah. Alec, hi. By the way, how we doing? No, because the sets coming out are too crazy. They're going to be too stacked. There's no way we lose steam. This year is completely shot for any sort of reasonable Pokemon prices. It just is. Even if they bring these new printers online and make all these new print facilities and make new contracts with other printing facilities, print all this product, we will still not by the end of the year have enough Pokemon product to go around. We just won't. It's just it's too good. Pokemon is doing too well. People, I really don't think they understand how unprecedented demand has to be for a multi-billion-dollar company to not be able to keep up with demand, to be able to pump out enough product. Again, to put out a set and 2 weeks later be completely sold out of that set. It is to a level that in collectibles is unheard of. It completely destroys Beanie Babies. It completely destroys, anything else. I mean, you had Swami was talking about, Swami, right? I mean,
yeah, I think I've
probably
seen.
not know him, but you've probably seen his videos and I'll watch him maybe. He was talking about with Panini. No, not Panini. Who was it? One of these guys, one of these big companies. Were they talking about they were like 25x the profits from the previous year or something crazy, some ridiculous amount. That's just for sports. You got Pokemon, which is basically, in its own league here, and it's still blowing things away and price and Sealed will never be as cheap as whatever was. I think we've all should just forget about, $90 booster boxes. Again, I made a video about that. That's never going to happen again. Not in any time soon. And I think just inflation will also catch up with that to where we'll never go back to that price. And these prices are just, Pokemon is going to be a premium sealed card game. It kind of always has been, and people just haven't really thought of it that way. But, you've been able to buy Magic booster box for like 80, 85 shipped, for some recent sets. And yeah, just Pokemon has always been super careful and safe as far as like a game to bring on or like to buy sealed product of. It's never going to go down in value. You never have to take a bath on it. And even when people always talk about Roaring Skies, if you were smart with Roaring Skies and you didn't like dump a bunch of money into it, you were fine. The only people that got stuck with Roaring Skies was distributors, because Pokemon and distributors put out a wave of it, and then it just kept coming from Pokemon, and they got like, whoa. Distributors freaked out, and we're stuck with it. So that's what happened with Roaring Skies. But from a store, Pokemon's not going to stop. Sealed will never stop. I think Modern is as popular as it's ever been. Collectability of it is as big as it's ever been. Once y'all start together again, people are going to have all these cards. They're like, well, may as well go to the card store and play. So we're going to see probably play being as big as it's ever been. It's not stopping. We're not stopping. Like I said, I think for 25th anniversary and Chilling Reign and the EV sets, we're going to be looking back at Battle Styles and wishing we saw these prices again, because, yeah.
The rarest Pokemon products that are reasonably priced. That's an interesting one.
TCG products cards that are reasonably priced. Like booster packs, or just, because there's sealed product that's, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. The only thing I could tell you that I think maybe would be reasonable price would be base set packs, I guess. Like that I could understand. Modern, I don't know. Modern looks like an EKG monitor, just fucking exploding constantly.
Yeah.
Can't tell is it overpriced? Is it underpriced? Who knows? We'll find out in a few hours.
What do you think are the rarest TCG products that are Yeah, probably. I still think. Oh, so you're not talking like? Are you talking about Modern, Alec? Or like just of all time ever?
Yeah,
because I think Modern there is none. I think, and even like in the long term, we will see that the prices right now are crazy for what down the road demand will be. So yeah.
So people are saying Vintage won't get reprinted anymore after the next wave. That's false.
Yeah, there is a rule of 2 years for Pokemon. If we are within 2 years, if it is still standard, it is totally open for a reprint. And even Ultra Prism got reprinted, and it was like a month before it rotated out of standard. So even that is not necessarily guaranteed. You got to think of the way that you want to run a card game, again, with players in mind, not just collectors, but just for playability. You want to keep people interested in the card game and playing. So you want to keep standard, which is the biggest format in Pokemon and in most card games. You want to keep it as cheap as possible, so that as many people find it welcoming and have a good time playing it, and don't have to spend thousands of dollars on a Pokemon deck.
Yeah. Ultra Prism was the biggest piece of data I got to use to create the reprint analysis system I came up with. It was so perfect, especially now that I finally understand each year's 4 sets that go out of rotation. Yep. And it's like, what is it, like 24 to 28 months is how long they get to stay in.
Right, yeah. Ultra Prism was nice, and was nice to have a reprint of it, but we needed it 3 months after the set release, not a month and a half after, or a year and a half after it was out, because
I don't fully understand what happened to Ultra Prism. I remember there was some form of error that occurred with it, but I
I don't know. I don't remember that. I mean, they probably could have been, but yeah, I don't know what happened to Ultra Prism either. Like there's Full Art Cynthia in it that was crazy, and people loved that card. But other than that, I don't know what the chase was. You know,
So yeah,
it just had the big mama waifu in it, so people were after it. But other than that, I don't know.
to answer your question, PokeGal, there's probably going to be a reprint at some point before it finishes. There's just a good chance, I'd say. I think.
Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the chat. Hold on, let me see. I was just going off of what you had on the screen. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was answering about the Vivid Voltage. That it's done being reprinted. I'd expect there to be more personally.
No, yeah, I mean it's only not even a year old, so I think it's got plenty of opportunities and needs to be reprinted. Pokemon wants anything in standard to be reasonably priced.
So this one's
they will reprint it.
This is interesting. If somehow the 25th anniversary falls flat, how will this affect the market? Honestly, I can't even imagine it falling flat. If they somehow kept battle styles good, and then they literally just uppercutted us with Chilling Reign, I can't see them messing up the 25th anniversary.
I just don't know how. I don't know how they could. I don't know how they could do it. If they make Champion's Path again, I don't know how. I don't know how you would mess it up though. I don't know what they could possibly do. That just means more people just buy the Eevee set. So I don't know.
Crimson Invasion reprint.
I mean, yeah, that probably would not be good, but
okay.
Right now, Seal product is at a premium. People just want to open packs. They just want it to crack packs right now. It doesn't matter what it is.
So there is one thing I personally want to talk with you about.
Personally,
what do you think is about to happen to Hidden Fates? We are like at the doorstep of it going out of rotation, but it's a specialty set, so it's a little bit in that gray area. And it's a money cow to Pokemon, but at the same time, literally every set is a money cow to Pokemon. So,
yeah.
Will it get to ride off into the sunset? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
I don't think we're going to see any more Hidden Fates.
All right. I just want your opinion on that. I think it's very possible that does happen.
I love Hidden Fates. As a store, I love Hidden Fates. As you know, as a fan of the cards, I love Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates is probably the greatest set. I think you can go way far back. I don't even know how far you want to go back to say it's the best set. And expanded, it's the best set going back. I don't know how far you want to go back. How far do you want to go back? What's better than Hidden Fates?
Yeah, like that was the big argument I said. It's almost everyone unanimously says Hidden Fates is the best modern set ever.
I think if you did a poll and like from Black and White on, what's the best set of Pokemon? Hidden Fates would win. So how can it not just run away in price? And even I want to talk about this too, and I didn't want to like directly call anybody out. I don't want to hear either, so
that's all right.
Not that it matters, but
what channel's heated? I don't care.
I know, and I don't care either. So it's whatever. But people are heralding this recent wave that we had, if you want to call it a wave reprint, whatever it is, whatever it was, I don't know what it was, of Hidden Fates, where there's a lot of people in Europe, particularly in the UK, were like, oh, well, this is reprinted, and this is this is something that Pokemon is going to reprint. There's a huge reprint. There's tons of this product, and what they didn't understand was that at the time that yes, we had tins come out in America, and I don't know where these tins came from. If I had to guess, because there's a lot of this going on, even now, that product that is allocated to go to Europe is getting recycled back into the American market.
Yeah, someone pointed that out. We got the Meowth versions from
correct, and I bought some of those, and I've bought a lot of that product that was to go overseas and didn't end up going overseas, and then was sold back into America. So I'm thinking that the big box restocks of those tins were meant to go to Europe, and they didn't ship the tins, and they just sent them the ETBs. And the ETBs were actually just the ETBs that we got back in January. And they've just taken that long to get to Europe. Again, that's just what I've came up with. I don't know if that's true at all, but I'm thinking it's probably true.
So
there was no Hidden Fates reprint outside of the one that we got back in January. And even then, the amount of product that there was correlates to the size that we got. So that's just me throwing things out there and just looking at things how I'm seeing it from my end. But yeah,
Hidden Fates is it's just smoke and mirrors, that entire set. We know so little about it other than that it was the cash cow, and now all this has happened. You know about Modern Horizons, right? In Magic, like, you got
sure.
a pretty good grasp on it.
Yeah,
I imagine Hidden Fates is going to follow the Modern Horizons path. It doesn't matter how much is out there. People are going to buy it. People are going to crack it. People who have it might just crack it for fun eventually, especially if the EV ever inverts. Like, it's
the spread on the value of the singles are so wide that you probably could argue that it's worth opening. And we could get to that level just because the cards are so awesome and there's just so much of the singles that have actual value. And even if you get a baby shiny, if they go to $10-15 a piece for the cheapest, bust those babies. Why not? It wouldn't make sense to keep them sealed at that point. Like you said, if it inverts, then you're going to see all that busted. And that, in turn, only drives the prices for the sealed up. And you're in this constant seesaw of pricing, just going up and up and up. Hidden Fates, and I think during the summer, Hidden Fates will probably be back above $200. And probably by the end of the year, it's going to be probably $300, $350 for an ETB.
Yeah, unless
I think it just is.
Happens, but I doubt it.
In fact, if I was smart, I would have gone back into these Facebook groups. And there are stores that are doing this. I've seen pictures of cases of Hidden Fates ETBs. This is not a unique idea to me, where I would go through and I buy ETBs for like $120 and just sit on them until the summer for a couple months. Because I've seen stores do it, and like I said, I've seen pictures of way bigger stores than me, sitting on Hidden Fates, and it's just, there are stores out there doing it. They are buying up the market on Hidden Fates ETBs because they know.
Sorry about
and this is the easiest. What's that? I'm sorry, Sam.
I said sorry about my dog. She's drinking
water.
No,
I can't even hear it, so you're okay.
Okay, perfect.
But well, a little bit. I hear him a little bit, but it's not distracting. But there are stores that are buying out Hidden Fates ETBs. They are purposely manipulating the price on the market and just buying at a threshold and saying, like, all right, anything below 150, I'm buying it all. Doesn't matter what it is, and sit on it.
I started doing that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's how this works. It's how the collectibles markets and scarcity of something that's very good, very popular works. That's how prices inch their way up ever slowly as supply, dries up.
It's interesting seeing the market finally starting to catch on, because I started seeing a bunch of YouTube videos coming up like a month and a half after I made mine, which I found it by accident when I was comparing Hidden Fates and Shining Fates. I went, wait, this is stupid.
Yep. I wish we had a graph that I could see of sealed product, because of seeing like it sitting at 250 in a straight line. Sorry, and then the reprint happened. You're down to 150, and then it's obviously going to go back up. Like, why would it not? Why would it not continue the projection that we saw after it dried up the first time? So it doesn't make any sense to me at all.
All right, so Alec M, why does everyone like Hidden Fates? Honestly, it's because it was the first massive shiny vault. Like, it was the flagship shiny vault, from what I understand. The only comparable thing would almost be Neo Destiny. I can't think of another set where the shiny vault was big and the focal point.
Yeah, that, and again, you get hits very often. Like, the set's very forgiving. Even if you get a baby, it's good. But it's still rare enough to where it has and feels like it's exciting to pull something like that, because that's so often where it doesn't turn out that way. when they do stuff like this. So how they put it in, like I think it's like 3 or 4 per pack potentially, and then you got your regular rare slot. The only thing that would make Hidden Fates a little bit better if the standard set had some more really awesome cards in it, but they got some full art supporters and stuff in there that are good. So it's not like it's super. It's an amazing product. Again, it's probably the best product we've ever seen, or best set we've ever seen in modern times. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the set itself is weak. The shiny vault is where it's at. So
what's your favorite food? I would assume free tendies. So,
yeah, you know what? Yeah, I do love me some buffalo chicken tendies. I really do. But no, other than that, I don't know. Probably like a bloomin' onion from Outback. Probably if I could just like make a meal out of that, I probably would. That's probably like where I'm at. That's my feel right now. It's been so long since I had even a bloomin' onion.
The demand for Hidden Fates will really just overpower all of the people who stocked up on it, thinking it will go up. Are there just not as many people doing it as I think? No, there's as many people doing it as you think.
I can show you pictures of people doing it. I have pictures and screenshots of people buying out the stuff.
It's just,
I don't know. Hold on. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it in a way to not like put them on blast. Unless you guys.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, yeah, there are as many people hoarding it as you think. The demand is that ridiculous. Think about it. Hidden Fates is getting close to going out of rotation, and yet people are still opening it. People, think about it. We've had what? Base, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, Shining Fates, Battle Styles, and now Chilling Grain, and people are still talking about Hidden Fates. Do you realize the magnitude of what it has to do for that to happen?
No, yeah, it is huge. Let's not.
What's there? What do you want to say?
Let's not pretend.
I was gonna say and add on that, not to mention the fact that because there's a shiny vault and there's like 30 cards in the shiny vault.
I believe 38.
Yeah, you have so many cards, so you have to open a lot to get it to get all of it, and a lot of people want to open it and have all of the shiny cards. They want one of all of them for a binder set, or just love having them because they think they look pretty and just want a bunch. So you have to open a whole lot of Hidden Fates in order to get all the cards you kind of want to have yourself, or you got to go and buy them. So people are opening a lot just because there's so many cards and then not enough product.
Yeah, the secondary market for the singles definitely helps the price as well, for sure. Okay, let me see. I don't know if you guys know who. You guys probably don't know who these people are, but just so this is another store, and that's all the Hidden Fates they're hoarding. So if you don't think it's happening, it is happening. Stores are buying the stuff out, and yeah, they are happy. They are happy to continue to just hold this stuff forever and ever.
My God,
because they can. Yeah, I'm like this. This is all. That's their stuff. That's all their. All those boxes, I'm sure, are Hidden Fates. So yeah. Again,
sorry for convincing you guys that you want more. It's just to us, again, remember, we're just talking amongst ourselves. To us, it just seems stupid. They should not be that cheap. Honestly, with the expected value out of the damn ETBs on average, with how popular the set is, and the fact that people still talk about it, it's just such a dumb idea. Remember, I talked about it all.
Plus the promo, plus there's 10 packs in an ETB.
And people like the deck sleeves too.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think that promo is still undervalued because it was hitting $35 again at summer last year. And I think it's like it's like 15 right now. Too cheap for that card. This card is
beautiful. Feels like it belongs to the Sword and Shield alternate art era. It's just so unique.
Yep. It is definitely like them toying with the idea of like making unique arts, for sure. And there's nothing else like it. There's no other card that looks like that. So that in itself, it's kind of like the ADP like statue one.
Oh yeah, love that card.
Yeah, it's beautiful. and it's in Cosmic Eclipse, of course. But that card in itself is a, $200 card. Here in a year. So if it's not already there, it's probably getting close. But yeah,
How many more people are holding sealed versus back in the Lotsie era? I couldn't even tell you. The percentage has to be literally tens of thousands. There's so many more people. Everyone's holding. Like, I'm holding a single sleeve blister.
Yeah. I mean, you think about like when people say they find these deals or like these awesome things or awesome pickups from the WotC era. It's always a store that went out of business and they put it in storage, or it's they found some store that has them, the back off. It's always stores that have them. It's never like somebody like hoarded them. And very rarely do you hear about stories like that of like large amounts of WotC era stuff being stored up. So it's kind of it's always the amount of just casual people just buying at street value and putting them up to hold on to. Yeah, it's so much more than what it was back then. Definitely.
All right, so our next one. Let's see. Do you believe in conspiracy of lower pull rates on newer runs of Hidden Fates? You're gonna probably know more about this because they probably talked to you about it.
I have not seen any correlation to that, and I think just people are upset that they have to spend more money and they're not getting the pulls.
Yeah, I personally have never subscribed to the belief that Pokemon short print stuff or changes up pull rates. I just don't see any reason for them to do it.
Yeah,
and it's just realistically, you can't get a perfect pull rate on anything, no matter how much you open. So I just go to the percentage rate. You get a 10% shot at a shiny vault card, and then that 10% is divvied up amongst 38 cards. It's nice, easy. There's no way we can be certain.
I mean, Hidden Fates at the time when it was released, it was relatively hard to find even then, but you could find it. It wasn't like it's super, super hard to find, but even then it hurts when you opened when they had like, I think they had like 3 or 4 pack blisters or boxes or something, and you open a box and you didn't get anything out of it.
Collections.
Yeah, the pin collections, yes.
I got a couple cases of those.
Right, yeah. And yeah, stuff like that is going to be obviously good. But yeah, that would hurt, because you spent like $20 on those pin collections or whatever they were. That's $5 a pack, which seems expensive now, but yeah, it hurt even back then. So I think the pull rates they're the same. I think it's just if you pay, what are they, probably $15, $20 a pack now? I don't know what they are, but yeah, it hurts a lot more. I think, Nicholas, the comment you made before the question, Cosmic Eclipse is another set that I absolutely love. I think it's going to be, again, the best standard Pokemon set right now for sure, as far as like a long time hold. What's that? I'm sorry.
Cosmic just stands out. Like, we have all the really nice alternate arts, but I feel like Cosmic is when they not only experimented, but then they also knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, it was a send off for Sun and Moon, so obviously they made that a big deal and made it special. But I think, it definitely stands out compared to the typical standard set. It's the kind of stuff that's in it. I think it's just a beautiful set and has so much going for it.
So what do you think about Champion's Path making it all the way back to $100 in ETB?
Yeah, I mean,
that's an interesting.
I get remnants of product like the double boxes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I just bust them just for the packs because the packs are so expensive still. For some reason, for whatever reason, they're still expensive. But yeah,
I have hatred for that set personally. That's the first time I messed up and got stuck with product. I learned my lesson on that one.
Really? You think you're stuck then? You think you?
No, in that short term, because I was still learning. It had never happened to me. It was a very good learning experience. It just, at the time, I was a little bit bitter about it. But as time progressed, I'm like, who cares? It doesn't matter. There's so many opportunities. It's just, it'll eventually go up. Patience. Yes. I was spoiled by last year.
The ETB for Champion's Path is the most beautiful ETB possibly that we'll ever see. So
I could agree.
If you're sitting on anything, the ETB is definitely the thing to be sitting on. And of course, that promo is rampant and is everywhere. But still, it's full art Charizard. It's a cool looking card. It's going to be desirable. I mean, Ancient Mew is an example of a card that has millions of that card sitting around, and people still are paying $30 for it. I don't know why, but it is. So it's, there being a lot of a promo doesn't mean that it's not desirable. People don't want it. So it's a Champion's Path ETB. Yeah, it's fine. You're gonna be okay for $100. I think I'm not surprised at that. I'm not surprised, but yeah, it's. And again, probably a set that will not be reprinted.
Mm-hmm.
Never know. Could be. There's still time. We got, again, 2 years, right? But yeah,
it is interesting.
There's definitely no reason to go back and reprint it for at least from a playability standpoint. And I think for prices, I think Pokemon would be probably okay with Champion's Path maintaining a higher price. That's just me personally. I don't know, but just what makes sense.
From what I've seen, Champion's Path has been selling slower too. Like I do actually see that hanging out on shelves with battle styles that people have been showing. So I could definitely see it actually being allowed to ride off into the sunset, especially that one before Shining Fates is allowed to. And if we have another specialty set coming out this year, if the 25th anniversary set is a main set like Evolutions and not a specialty.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the question. And they have not specified. At least I don't think so from my end. Again, we're too soon out. We normally know as far as like SKUs and like product images and how displays work. Normally 2 or 3 months beforehand. So again, we got time still before that kind of stuff is even talked about. Of course, obviously, if we see a booster box for 25th anniversary, that'd be crazy. That'd be insane. But yeah. Maybe they'll count Shining Fates as our specialty set. I don't know. Maybe.
So have you seen Gary/King Pokemon's last video saying that he's scared of showing what he has in storage or else he'll damage the market? Like, do you know what they're talking about or no?
I know he's talked about that before. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Like, is it a good or a bad thing? Like in context, I'd have to hear what he's talking about. But yeah, I'm sure the dude is and I mean this in the kindest way possible and not like as a knock. The dude's a hoarder and he just holds on to everything he buys. So like he collects and he's a collector. He's the collector, So yeah, I don't doubt that he has probably some crazy stuff in storage. I'd be surprised.
All right, now that the questions have calmed down, because I personally hate letting people's questions not get answered because I see so many that happen. So let's let them get ahead of us a bit. What do you think? What are your thoughts on MetaZoo? Yeah,
you want to talk about MetaZoo? Are you ready? Are we ready for this conversation?
Yeah, let's ruffle some feathers, possibly, because I know a lot of.
Are we gonna ruffle any feathers? I don't know. I don't know. I have
by the
a
way,
couple of boxes.
Got that one for free. I think I was.
Yes, I'm doing a live break of that. I don't know if you guys saw my scheduled post about that, but this Saturday at 6:30 EST, I'm going to be opening a box and talking about MetaZoo on the channel. So that's something that's cool, and I'm excited to do that. And it's going to be fun because I'm kind of bought some stuff to make it silly. But yeah.
If you guys want to experience the cards, go check it out on his channel. I'm planning to buy the first edition print run, not the Kickstarter one when it comes out. I want to see what all the fuss is about.
Yeah. Yeah, I know stores are taking pre-orders on the first edition. There's a couple places out there that are actually doing that. So, it may be something to check out if you really do want to just get your hands on some cards. It's hard to talk about MetaZoo in a sense of like a regular TCG because of the weight of what the collectors have done to the game. Obviously, it's a game that is, I would say it is an alpha. possibly beta. Okay, let's say beta because they actually do have like a standard, way of how the game plays. So let's say it's in beta. Let's say, it has issues outstanding from itself, and like all starter TCGs would, right? Like this is not a obviously the guy that created MetaZoo isn't a TCG creator. He's no Mark Rosewater or anything of he doesn't maybe have the full grasp of how to produce a TCG, which is fine. That's how you start. You have to start somewhere. So yeah, it's going to have these little issues and probably not be the best mechanically sound game or play as exciting as well as an established game would be. But the price point that it's at does so much damage to this game as far as getting it into people's hands and people wanting to give it a shot that it's really honestly it's not fair. It's kind of sad. Take what you think of the art or the cards or mechanics or just the whole concept. That's fine. Whatever you think about that, but the people that came in and bought this game and has turned it into the price craze and runaway that it is really unfortunate from a store standpoint that wants to see or maybe potentially pick it up to carry. Because I've said numerous times that I can't put this in my case. I can't put this box. I can't crack this box and put it on my shelf and sell these for $90 or $100 a pack. That's unreasonable. That's a silly thing, and that doesn't help the game succeed or grow. And that's sad. That's a sad thing that your game is pricing people out before it's even out. Before you even get started, you're already at a huge disadvantage because you can't make enough of this product. And the silly thing is, the MetaZoo creators aren't making all this money. They're not making tons of money off of this, selling these boxes for thousands and thousands. They're selling them to whoever, or the Kickstarter backers or whoever, bought them for whatever they are, regular, normal price, whatever you would expect. And those guys are making money and selling them for profit and pumping this stuff up. So that's the unfortunate thing too, is the money's not even making it back to the creator. And that's why it's so you want to point and say it's a conspiracy or whatever about the game, and he's putting things out of order and maybe giving them to influencers and trying to pump his game up and make it has value, but he's not even making the money off of it. It's not even him that is profiting from this. So that's just kind of the sad thing about it, is that if it was nefarious and not legitimate, they're not even profiting off of it. So why would they be doing this? It's kind of I guess, yeah, your boxes sell out so you can make more, but I don't know. I think people are really, really hating it for basically what people have pumped it up to be value-wise. And the collectors are really, they're buying it to collect in case it takes off, but it can't take off because of how expensive it is. So they're killing their own investment at this point because of how expensive it is. It doesn't make sense in that regard.
It's basically the same issue Flesh and Blood is having right now, except far worse.
Yes, parallels obviously are very strong with Flesh and Blood, but obviously Flesh and Blood has multiple sets out. They have a very solid tournament, and like I said, they have kits that they give to LGS and stuff like that to encourage people to play the game. Obviously, again, this game's in basically the equivalent of a beta. That has no chance, and obviously that stuff isn't in place yet. It just isn't there yet. It's not to that level, So, it's rough. It's rough to watch because it speaks to the amount of blind investing and just people just throwing money at something because of low value or low print quantity, and it's just so scarce. And not knowing anything about it, again, I love to tell the story about the guy last year that came in to my store and just bought all my Charizards. Didn't care. First edition, second, base set 2, unlimited. Didn't even know what that meant. Just was like, yeah, that's the Charizard, right? Okay, I want that entire stack. And then continued to wipe out all my Charizards at like $13,000 worth.
Jesus.
And again, had no idea anything about it, and didn't even bat an eye when he was told the price, and said, "Yeah, here we go." So there's a lot of that, just in collectibles, just people that have money and just
Hutzel's comment.
Just want to buy and put money into products that they really don't know anything about. So
don't worry, guys. We're gonna go back to the other questions, but this is very on topic right now, so I wanted to hear Mason's opinion.
Yeah.
First edition boxes for sale of Metazoo on eBay from a reputable seller for $100 last week. They sold out. I got 10. Next, sir. Click on the next one, please. Metazoo will get there eventually. They will get products out by June or July. Well, yeah. I'm about to toss it over to you. What I wanted to say first was we're talking about how it being elitist. So, but here's the big question. Are you buying those 10 boxes because you're hoping to flip them for the profit, or because you're genuinely interested in the game? Because if you're genuinely interested in the game, it's a whole another conversation. But 10 boxes, I can't help but think you're also hoping the game will go up. And there's a lot of people who have a similar mindset.
Yes. Whenever there's a new set of Pokemon announced, Safari Zone always puts up booster boxes for, $110 shipped. It means nothing. That is not indicative of the price of that, or what it is, going to be when we get closer to that date. Stores do that all the time. People that are getting product do that all the time. People do that with Digimon, and of course, what happened? Digimon was shorted, and we didn't get all the product for it. And then these stores had all these pre-orders for 80 boxes, and they were only getting 48. So those sort of issues can happen, especially something that, you're talking about something in June and July. I don't doubt that window, they'll hit that window, but are we confident on the amount and what's going on with, the chain for a new card game, being able to get this to distribution and have the distribution carry those out and put those kind of things out. Because again, I had a store locally to me that has booster boxes up on their website and ready for sale. So, and for not crazy prices. So, that always happens. That's why stores for Pokemon aren't pre-ordering Pokemon anymore, because if you were going to pre-order it, it'd be for so much cheaper than what it could potentially be closer to opening, closer to the release window. So you probably got a good deal on that. You probably snagged it pretty good. If this craze continues, or, we could be done with Metazoo as soon as the collectors and the market catches up with where we're at, and you could be sitting on 10 boxes that you can't potentially get rid of. So there's that potential too. That's just the risk.
Yeah, Metazoo, honestly, I'm rooting for it. Just because more card games out there, the better. More competition. If they can somehow get good, it'll cause the bigger card games to maybe keep getting better. Pokemon just keeps getting better. It doesn't need anything. But
yeah,
it's just it's kneecapping itself with these prices. Damn it!
Again, it's totally out of their control. Like, they have no control over it. They kickstarted a game to try to get some money. And again, Kickstarter was great. I don't know if they hit all their goals or whatever, but after the fact, now that there's a limited amount of this product, people are going crazy for it. So I don't know. It's a sign of the times, let's say.
Where Alec M is asking where he'd be able to pre-order 25th anniversary products, and if any of us know a good place to pre-order in Canada. I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't think anybody. Again, we don't even know the form factor that the 25th anniversary set is going to be in. We don't know if it's going to have booster boxes. We don't know if it's going to be ETBs only. We don't know if it's going to be specialty box products. Like Generations was in, just like box products, like weird stuff like that. It's we have no idea. So until we have an idea, and trust me, if we had that information, Poke Beach and all those guys would be all over it, like they always are, because once that gets out to distribution, and distribution has that information, we'll know about it because they have moles everywhere. Or somebody will leak it, and until that happens, we won't have any idea of what, who's going to be pre-ordering it. So even like people that pre-order everything super early won't have this up because we don't know what is coming in or what all products are entailed in it.
With Pokemon being short of supply, have you seen customers branching out into Magic, Flesh and Blood, or most recently Metazoo? I myself have only bought and opened 200 packs of TSL. Oh, Time Spiraled Remastered and Welcome to Wraith.
That's a lot of packs. That's 200. You say only, but that's a lot for as much as those Time Spiral Remastered boxes are going for. So
yeah, that disappeared. all straight to
oh
Amazon.
yeah. Yeah. I wish I would have had 10 times the amount that I got, and I had a pretty decent amount of them. So yeah. I see a lot of people picking up other games. Yu-Gi-Oh is pretty solid right now. They just had the new Ghost boxes come out where they brought back Ghost Rares. So a lot of people are buying that up. So that's pretty popular. Flesh and Blood, if I had it, would probably be selling. Yeah. It's just even the back sets we don't have anything of. So, but yeah, I mean, people that are interested in this stuff are gonna, if they can't get what they want, they're gonna move on to something that's very similar. So if you like TCGs, yeah, you're gonna want to keep buying TCGs of some kind, even if you don't like. If you want Pokemon just as much, but then you can't get Pokemon, yeah, you're gonna, okay, I'll just buy something else. It's the same thing. Like when the lockdowns happened, and we had, because we sell video game consoles as well. All these consoles were selling out like crazy. You couldn't get a PS4, so people would go like, okay, well, let me get a PS3 then. Don't have a PS3, okay. Well, all right, I'll take a PS2 then. It's just they'll just take whatever they can get their hands on. Doesn't really matter.
So I believe only the first edition Kickstarter boxes that are that heavy of a price, they were super limited. Am I right on that, or no? For Metazoo,
yes, there is first edition boxes coming, and then there's first edition Kickstarter boxes. So it's not really first edition, even though it says it is. So yes, like this one I have it's marked with a K in the first edition, but then they'll release just first editions. So yeah, that would be interesting.
How many boxes of Metazoo do you think the creators have just in stock that they plan on selling later at market price? I hope not many, because that'd be kind of bad.
Selling at market price? I don't know. I don't know if they are doing that. Like, they sent me 3 boxes for free, and didn't ask it. I'm very grateful that they did. It's awesome, because I wanted to look into it and open the cards anyways. But yeah, those boxes are $2,500 right now. So that's just money that they are giving away, for all intents and purposes, because they could go out on eBay and sell them just like anybody, if they really wanted to, but they're not. So that also speaks to their, merits and how invested and how much they want the actual game itself to succeed, rather than just be a short-term, blip. So, yeah. I don't know if they are keeping any. So yeah, to answer the question, I don't think they are keeping any. To be real honest.
Like I said, I personally hope not. They need all the supply they can get out there because if collectors and investors keep pulling these shenanigans, they're just going to keep handicapping their game. And again, I am hoping it survives. But do you think keeping an ETB case sealed even matters anymore? Selling single ETBs brings in way more profit anyways.
Yes. Typically, when you keep things in a case, it's cheaper than what it would be as a single, because people want deals for buying 10 of them. So unless it was like super, super old, forever, forever old, I don't think it matters. It helps you probably, just because they'll be safe and they'll be taken care of and stay clean. But yeah, typically not. Typically, you don't see that kind of a price increase unless it's becomes super, super rare. So.
We have a Yu-Gi-Oh question. I've been wondering when we would get another TCG. Have the condition of ghost rares been good out of packs? Do y'all believe if Yu-Gi-Oh keeps making chase sets like Ghost from the past, Yu-Gi-Oh will boom like Pokemon, become more investable? I don't think it'll boom, but I could definitely see it improving if they keep focusing on their collectability.
Yu-Gi-Oh is an interesting game as well, because they have always come out and talked about how reasonable and how affordable they want to keep their game. Yu-Gi-Oh is not afraid to reprint anything ever. That is obvious. Not only make unlimited versions of their first edition stuff, but they will print cards into the ground. We have seen that even in the past year of cards that were several $100s when they released, and then they dumped it as like a regular like rare or something silly in the next set right after that. So yeah, investing in Yu-Gi-Oh is risky just because Konami doesn't care and they will reprint anything and everything. So I don't know. I would hope that they could find a balance, because I know there are people that do collect Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think investing and collecting is very different. And people that collect want to have the card just because they like it, and investing in something that can be reprinted at any time. It's just not really I wouldn't do it. Even for these ghost rares, I would not question that they won't, in 2 sets from now, make the ghost rare in a normal set, or a gold set or something silly, like they've been doing. So I don't know. But
yeah, I did want to say one thing about the Yu-Gi-Oh printing. Apparently, they used to short print things, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yes.
Because apparently, at some point, they came out and said, "We will no longer be short printing," and everyone stopped. And wait, you were short printing?
No. Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh is very much print to demand. People put in their numbers, or they base their numbers off of previous sets. No matter what it is, they're just going to reprint the same amount. And then that's what there is. And if they go back and reprint it, that's how you get like the unlimited versions of all this stuff. Because every set they put out, even though it's the first huge wave, is first edition, right? So, and even, they could never go back and reprint something. So there's only first editions of that card because they never reprint it. So that happens. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah, they have always been like a print demand, unless there's like a huge issue with pricing. But here recently, it seems like instead of just reprinting, they'll just reprint whatever the card is being expensive and re-release it. So yeah.
So Alec M was asking what our favorite Pokemon YouTube channels are.
Our favorites?
Yeah. Just in general.
So just Pokemon channels, or just Yu-Gi-Oh, or just YouTube channel in general?
Oh, I'd say Pokemon or other YouTube channels.
Oh, I mean, as far as Pokemon, like Jacob Pokenomics is like the god tier, like S tier. Like, how do you beat that kind of content? The amount of knowledge that guy has is insane, and I consider myself blessed to have him even talking to me and having conversations with him on the regular because he's just so smart, and just I would value to say that there's very few people that even know the market of Pokemon as well as he does, and he's only been doing it for like a couple years. It's just crazy. Just that man goes in when he gets passionate about something. So yeah, Jake is awesome. Other people I like, Danny Phantom, because it's just the same kind of YouTube store owner kind of content. There's no more better person, a genuine person than Danny Phantom. I talked to that guy for like literally 2 exchanges back and forth, talking to him like lines of text, and he was sharing like information about his allocations and what he was getting from distribution and all this stuff, and helped me out and helped me get some information about stuff. So Danny is just the most genuine, the most coolest dude. Obviously wish nothing but the best for him. And there's like a competition thing between me and him. Did you know that there's a thing like that? I don't know why. Like it's so bizarre, like how this happens. But me and Danny are cool. We're friends. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that was, but yeah, I don't know. It's silly. I don't know. Who do you like?
So,
Rudy.
oh yeah, Rudy. Yeah, that one's.
Oh well, yeah, Rudy. I mean, shoot, I watch every video Rudy puts out, so obviously he's
Basically, I can be summed up into right now because I'm super heavy into collectibles just in general for investing and just understanding. It's just SM Pratt and Rudy. I had to go all the way
Yeah.
back to their beginnings and start watching from there to watch all their videos and understand. That's why I even know anything about Magic, because to get real knowledge, I took what he learned in Magic, transferred it to Pokemon, and that's also why I started understanding. I can't trust Rudy a crazy amount when it comes to Pokemon, because he has an issue where the knowledge and understanding and concepts he has in Magic, he transfers them to Pokemon, whether he realizes it or not.
Yeah.
But they don't exactly translate.
No.
That's why he got burned in 2017.
Well, of course we say burned, but of course Rudy's also the kind of guy that holds everything forever. So no matter how something bombs, it's eventually going to go up in price because Pokemon does Pokemon things. Pokemon never loses value, so it's just like, and if they do, not for very long. So I think he's okay with his basement, or not his basement, his bathroom full of Pokemon.
Yeah, this one's just at you. How's Digimon doing? Demand still high? Well, are you having issues with the supply?
Yes, always. I am always having issues with Bandai. I'm always having issues with supply from Bandai. Because they put things out. They have an exclusive deal with distribution, so it doesn't move around the country like it should. Those distribution companies have some extreme favoritisms to people that spend a lot of money there, as they should. But obviously, when your entire game is hitched on as many people playing the game as possible, for you to throw pallets of product at a single location doesn't help you in that goal. You want to spread it across the country as much as possible so you get as many people as possible into it, right? So that's why these sort of exclusivity deals with distribution are bad for just gaming in general. But yeah, I just don't like it. It's one thing to favor your big accounts, but when you're one of the only 2 companies that sell something and you ship a very disproportionate amount of product to a very few select stores, that's when you should have an issue. And you, as somebody that has that deal, should be upset about that too.
So, have you heard about HGA grading? I have not heard about someone.
No, I'm gonna look them up. Let's see what's up.
Seen a little bit about it in Discord.
Let's see.
I'll talk a little bit.
I saw a little bit about it in one of the Discords. I don't remember which one it was, but it was like you can only submit 5 times within a certain amount of like 30 days or something. You can only submit 5 cards at a time in each submission, but your turnaround times are guaranteed to be whatever it is.
Huh. Okay.
That's all I
Interesting
know about it.
concept. Yep, well,
Oh, they're out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay, that's interesting. Shoot, I could drive my cards down there. I don't even have to ship them. Shoot.
I mean, people clearly like fancy top loaders, considering they use CGC.
Oh, okay. I see. How you get the truth.
Yeah, I don't have a high regard for CGC. People, as you've kind of already seen, a lot of people just use CGC for the quick flip. Maybe that'll change in the future, but the
Yes.
quality was so bad at release, and it's just kind of left a foul taste in my mouth, especially with who uses the service, left a foul taste in my mouth. And so once I just looked at it, it's a fancy top loader. Let's be honest, to me.
Wow. How do you like BGS? You have a issue with them?
Yeah, I like BGS. I like BGS for anything that's a 9 or above. Below, I'm just gonna roll a dice. I'll get better accuracy. They're so volatile with what they choose below a 9.
Yeah.
I take advantage of BGS, so a lot of people don't know this. I try to snipe cards that are, let's say, like a BGS 4, but then I see the other subgrades are like 9, 9, and 9. I'm like, that's not a 4. Because one of the subgrades was a 3, and they can only give you the lowest grade plus 1, and
Right,
that's
yeah.
what it will be. So I'll just snipe it, crack it. I can try to send it in, or just sell it raw, and it'll be worth more.
Yeah, I mean, I have not heard of HGA, but I will look into them now and see what's up. Again, I don't deal a lot with graded cards, so. But yeah, I'll check them out.
Yeah, Sarah, you want to ask your questions that you had for him?
Yes.
All right, Sarah, what would you like to ask?
Sarah, you have questions for me specifically?
I do.
Oh my God. Okay.
Interested in card stores.
This is hype right now. Let's go.
There we go.
My questions were what is your weirdest interaction or conversation you've had with a customer?
Okay. I'm going to keep it to things that are not either alcohol or drug induced. So
Okay.
let's keep it to that. I don't know. Like, I'm very much I like to call it in a nice way, a nerd pawn shop. So obviously I have a lot of people come in that are not very sociable or, have social issues with interactions, let's say. And yeah, I just, have some weird conversations with people. Because, they'll bring me something to buy or like a stack of cards or whatever. And you'll be talking to or trying to talk to them and ask them questions. And they just give you really weird, vague answers or maybe even be the opposite where they're too open about stuff. In fact, a guy here just yesterday was brought in a bunch of modern Japanese Pokemon, which I don't do a lot with, but he brought them in. And I was asking him how much he wanted for them, and he was just like, I need $160. I was like, oh, that's just a weird specific number. What? And he's like, yeah, I got to pay for the burial plot for my uncle, and that's going to be the money that we need to pay for it.
Oh.
It's kind of a. I didn't know what to say after that. I said, I'm sorry to hear, but he did not end up getting $160. So maybe it was just like a ploy to get money out of me. But yeah, we were too far apart on that, unfortunately. But yeah, that might not be the weirdest one, but that is the one that I remember off the top of my head, at least.
Okay. What was the inspiration for you wanting to open a card store?
Yeah, I talk about this a little bit on my channel, but when I moved out here to Kentucky, I lived here for almost 11 years now. I had stepchildren, and I had my collection from when I was a kid, and I would bust it out and show them all my stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and they wanted to start playing and get into it. So, okay, let's buy a couple packs and see how you like it. And then we started playing, just little decks starting out. And then they wanted to step their game up and go to actual store and play. So like, oh, okay, let's get serious. So we went down to a store that's here, one of the bigger card stores here in town, and played over there. And they had fun and enjoyed it. So we got more into it. And we actually went back when they did nationals. Now they just do like regional levels, and then they do like a continental kind of a big tournament. But anyways, it would always be in Indianapolis, which is only a couple hours away. So we drove up to nationals for Pokemon, and they played. Him and his friends played in that, and it was really fun. We had a great time. They got absolutely destroyed, but we had fun anyways. But yeah, I mean, just like an experience like that was just really fun, and like having that sort of interaction, and meeting people and talking to the other parents that I had at that time, and then going through and the process after they inevitably got out of Pokemon. And I have stuck with all these cards, and I was looking up prices and trying to figure out how do I get rid of these, or how do I get the most value out of these, because I spent tons of money on them. Obviously, this was black and white era when they were so rare to get cool stuff, and we paid so much money for these gold ultra balls and stuff. So yeah, I started looking up on eBay, and I started selling stuff like that. So that's where like the idea of like, hey, these have value, I can make money if I just like go and buy collections from people and just have buy them for an amount that I think I make money at, and sell them on eBay and see what happens. So that's really where the whole business, or the side hustle of then, where my business started. But yeah, I like just as to why I started a store with my business partner. It's just, I really do enjoy just the social interaction with people, seeing people and talking to people, that like the same stuff I like, and some stuff that there's stuff that we sell that I'm not particularly into. Like, I'm not really into Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's those people that you could tell are passionate about it. So I like to listen to them and talk to them about it. So there's just that kind of stuff, and just, I guess, serve a part of the market, and part of, as even if you wanted to say society, where there are people that have issues talking, or just getting out in public and maybe not having the greatest social skills, and just having those kind of people and having a place for them where they feel comfortable and can have fun. I think that's a very cool idea, and a cool part of the experience of running a store. So I guess that's really the reason why I started, and why I do still enjoy doing all that, is just because it's fun to grow a community and people that are passionate about not just whatever they're playing, but then you and your store yourself, and you get kind of these people that represent your store potentially, maybe when they go and play in these other tournaments, which is a cool thing too. So I guess, yeah, just the community aspect of it is probably the main part that I enjoy the most.
So you want to ask your last question or no?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right.
No.
I didn't know if you had any more. So actually, I'm interested in. No, we'll get to that good one in a second.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Holding out on me. Okay.
You got. I think you've heard about that one, haven't you? What's going?
What was it? I'm sorry.
What's happened with the law that happened where they're going to start? Questions, sorry. Where they're going to start charging us tax more easily. We'll get to that in 1 second.
Oh, with like eBay and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what hobbies do you mess around with besides TCGs? Honestly, it's pretty hard though, because our lives are cardboard a lot of the time, especially you.
Yeah, I mean, that's for better or worse, that's a lot of what I'm doing. Just is stuff for the store, or something that's related to the business, or learning about the hobbies and what's going on and stuff like that. I think that's a lot of. I think there's a lot of drunk people that I'm right next to a bar, and there's even stores that sell alcohol in them. So yeah, it's definitely happens. I had a lady just walk in from the bar, stumble around, and then just puke on my counter one time. That was fun.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. So, and then walked out. I didn't even have a chance to yell at her. She just walked out, and it It's gone.
So Bloody Marys with booster boxes.
Yeah. But anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, no, I don't remember. What was I talking about before I saw that?
It was what hobbies we have outside of
Oh,
TC.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. When I say this a lot, when you consider yourself an expert or want to learn more about anything, you don't get that way by reading up on something. And, okay, I'm done. I'm done learning. I don't have anything else to learn. You stay up and keep that going by continually listening to other people's opinions, learning from other people's experiences. All these YouTube channels that are all in this same sphere, like even the small ones, there's tons of good information out there for people that have experience, that have this knowledge of how greater economics works, how supply and demand works, how especially with pricing and stuff like that. And I don't have a strong background in that kind of stuff anyways, even though I am a store, and that's kind of like what I do. I just don't have the education for it. I wish I did. I wish I went back to school and did like business or something. That'd be probably a good use of time. But yeah, that's how I learn about a lot of stuff. And even people like Jake from Pokenomics, where he's talking about comic books and stuff like that. I have no idea. I have no knowledge about comic books at all. But I can learn from the parallels that he makes, and talks about the experiences and the rises and falls and the bubbles of that kind of stuff. And sports cards, I know nothing about sports cards, but same thing. Very relatable, same kind of stuff that you can kind of glean information from. So yeah, that's as far as like a hobby. If I want to say I'm still an expert and I'm still good at what I do, I have to constantly ingest this information to stay on top of everything, because there is just so much out there. I'm sure you're the same way. I'm sure constantly listening to people and watching stuff. So
Yeah, my days consist of, if I'm not doing school, I like to play video games. It lets me relax. If I'm not doing school, gaming, home, going to work, I am usually just. I like to just have earbuds in and listen to a bunch of random top YouTube videos, lots of alpha investments, tons of S. Pratt's. I'll swoop by your channel, check out the videos. Twice Baked Shake, even though I don't agree with Twice Baked Shake a lot of the time, but I need to listen to the opposing side. I will.
The opposing side. Wow.
Yeah.
Even when he is at work, he's just watching videos. So
It's find the people you disagree with most and listen to them, so you can try to expand your horizons. And I force myself to do that a lot, and I will force myself to read through the comments and see what people are saying and what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's not always easy. But that's pretty much my day. I just put in earbuds, do some homework, listen to stuff, play some games, even work out while I'm listening to stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, that's just, if I'm not here at the shop, I am driving home and listening to other channels. Squeaks. I mean, Squeaks is also very intelligent about this entire industry. So I listen to him, watch probably every single one of his videos. I've been watching Squeaks since, for years, when he started this channel, before he got, the kind of consistency that he has, just because I think he's very brilliant in this market. And I think he knows the market and the even like competitive aspects of Pokemon better than, a lot of people out there. So, you kind of just, the people that you look up to and people that you consider experts as well, you got to keep on top of them and kind of absorb that information as well.
Yeah, some people are difficult. Some people's videos, because they're so dense, I just have to rewatch them over and over again, and I'll find myself listening to them on repeat for a while.
Yeah.
But as for the 1099K that they're talking about, what do you think about it? Also, I don't think that goes into effect until next year. I don't think they're counting it on this year. I don't know though.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm not sure. I I don't know. Like, it's probably something that should have been happening anyways. It shouldn't be eBay's responsibility or whoever you're selling through to say, hey, remember you sold stuff through us? You should probably pay your taxes on it.
I think people have been saying
I don't know. It being automated, I think, is just a way to absolve those businesses of like any responsibility of that kind of stuff. Personally, I don't know.
Overall, I do expect there to be panic selling because a bunch of people are just going to get slapped with bills. Some people bigger than others, and we might just see a bunch of people undercutting each other to get rid of products. In which case, again, I'm just going to kind of wait for when it happens and try to swoop in and get some stuff. I feel bad because others' misfortune, but let's be honest, that's what this entire hobby is. All of us kind of taking advantage of one another.
Well, I mean, you're talking to a guy that has people walk into their store and say that they need money and they want to sell something. Like, that happens a weekly basis. So, I mean, it is part of just buying, reselling, and investing, those sorts of things.
All right.
Unfortunately, I don't know a lot about the 1099. I don't know anything about. I'm not very tech savvy or tax savvy. So unfortunately, my accountant does all that, and I trust them to do it correctly because I am dumb.
Oh, what do I? It's not that Twice Big Jake disagrees with me because he doesn't even know that I exist. I'm tiny. What I disagree with Jake on is just sometimes just how he talks on certain topics and his opinion at times. I can't really come up with any off the top of my head, but okay. Some people may get upset with me for how I say this, but whatever. My channel's tiny. I don't get paid anyway.
Damn.
I view it.
I am sitting here right here though, so just no, I'm kidding.
Okay,
I'm not gonna. I would never prevent you from saying anything you want to, and I don't care anyway. So it's whatever.
I've seen is Twice Baked Jake has gotten to a point where I call him Timmy Central. He is like the gateway for a lot of people getting into the Pokemon financing world, and that's perfectly fine. Like, there needs to be a gateway somewhere. I personally view it as you go to him, then you go to Cardinal Gaming, Danny Phantom, maybe me somewhere in there. I don't know where I fall. And then like at the top of the echelon, it's like Pokenomics, if you've got half an hour to kill, because his videos are really long and really dense. SM Pratt, if you only got a couple minutes to kill. And the thing with Jake being that gateway is because he talks about certain topics. He needs to be extremely careful because people will watch him go, oh, let's just buy the stuff because a bunch of Timmies are just going to go buy it and I can make free money. It's either he's ignorant of the power he has or he doesn't care and wants to take advantage of it. Those are the two things, because he really hasn't changed that much. And that's quite frankly what I see, and I'll call it as I see it. I know it's going to upset some people.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the guy that people stop into first, when talking about this kind of stuff. He literally starts every video, welcome to the hobby, Like, in saying that, he acknowledges that he's the first stop. And like you said, with that comes a certain amount of responsibility and at least some sort of, acknowledgement of that you are a big channel, relatively, in this realm, you are a bigger channel, and that you have a lot of power. And when you say that you are a store that is a channel that is for the little guy, to help the little guy, to make these sorts of decisions, you have to be careful with what you say, because people will absolutely listen to what you say, even if you don't think it's a big deal at the time. There's been numerous times when I've made videos, and again, I'm middle of the road. I don't even know if I'm not big by any means. I'm not big at all.
I think you're bigger than Jake.
Okay, but I mean, like subscriber base wise.
Okay.
But I have showed a card on stream or something like that, or on a video, and people have definitely went to my website and bought everything one I had.
That must suck.
It happens, and it happens unintentionally. You know, things like that will happen, and it'll be accidental. But it shows you just how much people are listening to what you say and what the kind of power that a person with 14,000 subscribers has. Imagine somebody that has what does he have, 40, 36, 35, somewhere in there?
Not a fair
I have no
amount.
idea.
I can check. Why not?
Multiple times more,
Mm-hmm.
where you could start to see the market move based on what you say. And again, I don't think he is necessarily being completely nefarious in what he's doing, but some sort of acknowledgement would be nice.
Yeah, it's.
And he has, from every video I've ever seen, he does not acknowledge it.
Yeah, if I could ask him anything, I would like for him to just kind of step up and go, I have this power. Let's be honest, he could inadvertently cause a lot of people to lose money if they just follow the trend and then suddenly can't liquidate things.
Yeah.
And that's really dangerous. And that's what I really don't like. So I would like for him to just come forward, kind of acknowledge that, and just play around that note. We can't just say, this is a perfect or this is a great investment. These cards you should buy. It's just dangerous. The best example. Did you ever see his video where he was talking about the Hidden Fate Shiny Rayquaza? It was from one of the premium collections.
I know the card, but not of his video.
Yeah.
So
after that video, it like 10x'd in price immediately.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I'm not surprised. I mean, it's
kind of that acknowledgement and taking that responsibility. That's the only reason I fault him. Other than that, I think he's a great starting place. The more people who are educated, the better we all are off. Less volatility, less people leaving the hobby, and everyone's just happier.
Yeah, and even if he was just to do a video about like, let's look at how things are since I mentioned this, just to show people what happens, what kind of power or the kind of things that happen if you blindly follow somebody on a YouTube channel. A video even just like that would be nice to see.
All right, so I guess kind of trying to move off of this because we got really deep into that on accident.
No, yeah,
what do we all think about Frost? What do you think about Frosted Caribou now that the dust is finally settled?
Well,
the aftermath, I guess, kind of hard.
Yes. I did do a video about this at the time. I thought it was pretty good at showing from a store perspective of what things are going on right now. So, but I think the video needed to be made, and it was a good video that came about. And it showed people that may be oblivious that these cards have a game around them and you can actually play with them, and that there are people out there that want to do that. Just that kind of thing alone is kind of something that I'm sure needs acknowledgement, and some people that needed to be made aware of that. And it just shows how complex this hobby is because of all the people and all the factors and all the kind of like different spheres overlapping, like a Venn diagram of people wanting these cards. So, was it a perfect video? No. But, that's not the type of content she traditionally does. It's not like she's somebody that makes documentaries for a living. And there's not a lot of data behind it. Again, not her style, not what she does. you know, but obviously something that needed to be seen. I think it accomplished its goal, I think, to some extent. I know people initially took offense to it because of maybe some of these bigger channels talking, uh, that were in the video, or she took little snippets of and showed their picture or whatever, and maybe talked about them and kind of lumped them all together, saying that they're all the same. I could see where people have issues with that too, but I don't think any of it was unwarranted in the extent of, like, yes, content creators are a big deal and have power, and when they talk about prices, they can move and change, and markets will follow them. So, and I think what I covered in my video is that this platform in general is conducive to that kind of behavior, because obviously people that want to talk about the financial part of it are going to watch videos about financial things. So content creators are going to make videos about that kind of content because they get more views. And it's just kind of like is a self-feeding thing of people that want to talk about stuff and what videos that people want to see. So it just speaks to the market as a whole, is that's the amount of people that wanted to watch that kind of content. And even the video that I made a very similar concept about, where she talked about the different pillars of the hobby. I did a very similar video about that kind of stuff, and even Squeaks did a video about it too, about collectors and players and and investors, where we all play roles, and that our goals may not always be aligned, and the prices don't necessarily help, like players, for example. So, yeah, and that's how I got like a lot of views for my channel, is on a video like that. Like before we were really talking about that, or that was really a topic being discussed. So I actually got a good amount of subscribers from that video. So that whole concept was a good thing to make a video about. And I think pointing it at the content creators talking about the stuff was maybe a little too harsh, because again, you're on a platform that rewards people talking about what people want to see. So that's where we're at on how it went down.
My biggest gripe was the overall message wasn't bad, but all it did was create a cesspool of anger without ever calming that anger. And then that anger very quickly spread to every inch of Pokemon, and everyone became salty for a while, and it was very annoying. Hence my video.
Yeah. I mean, she has her core base of people that are very interested in what she produces, right? She's very much a, she does some competitive Pokemon stuff, but she opens product, and she has very entertaining videos where she makes little memes, and is very good at editing and does a great job with that. You take somebody from our sphere of videos of like yourself, or like Jacob Pokenomics, and they're very dry, they're very serious for the most part, they're very straightforward, and have arching concepts that I think are not conducive to her audience. So her audience went to these other channels and rah for how dare you disagree. So yeah, I think that little fallout was probably an unintended thing of it, but I think, as we both learned of our existence of each other, so was a positive, at least, I think.
All right. How do you balance your cardboard investments with your traditional investing? Right now, I'm a broke college student. I can't really play in the big boy investments. It's just you need a lot more capital to cause any form of sizable impacts I want.
Yeah, I own a business, so I also don't have money.
Yeah. To give you guys an idea on how much, so I pay completely out of pocket for my schooling. It costs me about $6,000 a semester, and I go year round. So
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
So I don't have money for anything. It's why when I did that massive purchase, I was like, "Oh my god, I've been saving for so long." And Sarah helps a lot with it.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
money that goes towards our investment actually comes out of me, but I have to pay bills and stuff. So, because I live in my own house or trailer, technically,
So
so I have rent.
it's very challenging in that regard. So if I could, I would absolutely be playing in those big boy leagues. Once I no longer have school, I will 100% be going into bonds. Bonds and real estate are what I'm aiming at.
Yeah. I like I said, I wish I could help you with that. I have no idea. I started a business, which is not the best investment to make. Let me tell you, unless you wanted to work a job while not getting paid for a very long time. If you're into that, then yeah, start a business. But yeah,
Yeah, internships. Oh man. Yeah, props to you, man, for actually making the card shop work. So many people have failed.
yeah. I mean, it took a lot of luck and a lot of timing and just diversification. When things struggle one way, thank goodness we have other stuff to prop it up because yeah, we would have been in bad spots here past couple years for a lot of stuff. So yeah.
So tell me, just what would you like to see for the 25th anniversary? Like, if anything were possible, what would be your hope?
If anything was possible,
Yeah, like just kind of throwing reason to the wayside.
I don't know.
Like, I'm still praying for that Neo Shining.
You
I
think they?
want.
I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would do that. I just don't.
I don't think it's likely, but again, I can't see the 25th anniversary not being Shining based at this point. They know what they're
Shining
doing
alternates.
because within the
Shining
span of
alternates. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that.
Shining alternates, Jesus, could they even print enough?
Yeah. No, I think. I mean, I think it's a pretty basic formula of you throw your Charizard in there, throw your uh, Gen 1 Pokemon in there, put a Mew and a Mewtwo in there. You gotta hit all the big popular ones, and make them really pretty and pretty shiny. And I mean, if you want to do some throwback cards and stuff like that, sure. But
And so
um, yeah,
you want to tell them about Z- your hope for the anniversary, the Zelda Pikachu?
Yeah,
what?
I want them to do a crossover between Zelda and Pikachu like they did with the Mario Pikachu, where they have Pikachu dressed in like Link and Zelda costumes for cards. That would
Yeah,
be interesting.
why not?
But I had this original theory where it's the 35th anniversary for Zelda this year and it's the 25th anniversary for Pokemon, so they could totally do something that would be great. But it's always the same anniversary year for both of them because they're in the same
Right? Yeah.
year, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and she made that theory. Man, when was that? Like,
That
I
was
think back in,
way in 2020.
I think it was in November that
Yeah,
had that theory,
I'm
and you even
still
showed
hopeful.
it on the calendar.
I'm still hopeful.
Well, I mean, if you would have told me they would have made a Mario and Luigi Pikachu before that happened, I would have been like, "There's no way they would never do that. That's silly.
I'm
They would
so
never do
sorry
a crossover."
about
But once they did the Munch Scream promos, anything's possible, right? I mean, heck, why not? I'm down. I think it'd be cool.
I mean, they've even got in Japan. They've got little there. It's a what's it called? It's a deck box that's Pikachu in adventuring gear, and he's holding a little sword, and it says Pokemon Adventure.
Oh,
And then there's
Okay.
even X sleeves where it shows the same Pikachu like riding on Lugia, and then some other ones where he's like walking through a forest meeting Pokemon. So I think we're getting there slowly.
If only they gave those to card stores.
Yeah. I don't The weirdest thing is it's like only stuff that's gonna release in Japan, but it's in English.
Yeah, that sounds like something that we would never get. Yeah. It happens that way sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't even trust it with staff promos, so we'll never get cool stuff like that. Not for
Wait,
LGS.
Did they stop the staff promos? I can't remember.
They have been temporarily discontinued. They widely say that it was because the way that they used to do it is they used to send them to LGSs that were part of the Pokemon Play Network, and because there's no events going on, those stores would just turn around and just sell the staff promos instead of giving them out like they're supposed to. So yeah, I think they stopped doing that, and they're going to come up with a better way to do that. But yeah,
hopefully they bring something like that back. From what I understood, it was a really nice reward for stores because it's just an extra payday.
well, I mean, it's supposed to be to the tournament organizers and the professors that play, so or to run the event. So it's supposed to be to thank them. But I think they will. There's a system in place for Pokemon for like the tournament organizers and the professors to have like a point system. So I'm sure they're going to probably do like a point system. Get so many points to get the promo kind of thing, and they ship it directly to them instead of a store getting it. So,
One more question.
So, what was the most surprising price movement you saw last year? That'll be a fun one.
the most surprising?
Yeah, like there were a lot of things that just surprised all of us. No one expected them.
Tops cards getting.
Oh, okay.
Expensive.
You went way out there. Yeah, I could definitely.
Yeah.
See that. Tops was worthless for a long time, from what I understood.
I threw them away. I mean, yeah, I didn't keep any of that stuff. Yeah, so Tops was probably a big one that I didn't see.
I still remember when Steam Siege clotheslined me. I was not expecting that one, but in hindsight, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. People say it's all about, there wasn't a lot of it out there. A lot of people didn't buy it, so people just want to open stuff, and it's old and hard to get, so it's expensive. That's really what it comes down to, I think.
I'm convinced the supply got obliterated by people just burying the shit because they were so upset with it.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. So, do you guys think the Japanese Celebi Alt-Art V promo will plummet when Chilling Reign releases?
I think it depends on how it releases.
That was gorgeous.
I don't know how we're gonna get it.
Is it going to be a promo? Is it going to be in the set?
Either way, I'm buying the Japanese one because it's going to be better quality no matter what.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it depends how we're gonna get it.
I'm pretty sure you've seen the horrible silvering on the baby shinies from Shining Fates.
Yes. For a long time when I was buying those, that's all I would see them. I would never see good ones. It was only the ones that were damaged.
That's going to be interesting. I wonder if the baby shiny 10s will demand a premium because of that. It'll be an interesting thing to see develop.
But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how the promo is going to get released here, so I have no idea.
What are collectible NFTs?
I didn't expect to have to do this. Do I want to do NFTs?
I don't know at all what NFTs are. So I've been hearing
really.
Apparently Logan Paul has been doing something with them.
What?
I don't know anything about NFTs.
Basically, NFTs are a blockchained piece of data. It could be a graphic or a sound clip or something like that. That you own specifically on a blockchain. So they could be like Major League Baseball does them. The NBA does them. So like they'll have like a clip of somebody like doing a dunk, but then it'll be on a blockchain so that you can own that particular instance of that item.
Okay, I think I get it.
So it's like a digital trading card basically. And you don't own that clip. You don't own the rights to use it. You just own that item on a blockchain.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, since I can't talk about that, and from the sound of it, I don't think you really want to dive too deep into that. This will probably be much more fun.
Okay.
What do you think the Evo ETBs are the same price or cheaper than all of the other XY era ETBs, even though the packs are much more expensive than many XY sets? Were they all just printed more? I tried diving into this one. It just seems strange.
It doesn't make sense.
There's two versions of ETBs for Evolutions, right?
Yes.
So that has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's two different versions. Yes. If they are going to reprint something, and when they do like huge runs of stuff, they'll either do booster boxes or they'll do ETBs. My thoughts on Evolutions is that yes, Evolutions was printed way more than anything out there, any set of all time. I would still say that there's more Evolutions printed than there is of Battle Styles in any other set. It has to be, because they printed it for so many, like 2 years consistently. There's still tons of Evolutions, and those ETBs were probably sitting at MJ Holdings and those companies that distribute for Walmarts and Targets. They probably had mountains of that stuff that they're just hanging on to. And when production and when product was getting really scarce, they probably had a ton of these ETBs that they've just been sitting on for forever. So we started seeing a lot of those show up just randomly out of the blue, just Evolutions ETBs just randomly, because a lot of big box stores stock the ETBs because they like the ETBs, because that's like the biggest product that you can have without booster boxes. So yeah, there's probably tons of those ETBs. I'm sure Pokemon printed a ton of them because they wanted Evolutions to be in big box stores for forever. So yeah, they probably printed a ton of them. So yeah, that makes sense that, yeah, they're going to be cheaper, even though the packs are expensive. I don't know why packs are expensive anyways. You could argue that those are way too expensive and booster boxes are too expensive. But yeah, I would consider the ETBs like their own standalone, even more so than like booster boxes, just because they have Charizard and Blastoise on them. So yeah, they're cool, and people want to collect them. So, but yeah, I'm sure they printed tons and tons of them, and that they were just released for forever. So that would make sense as to why the prices are finally going back to how they were.
My opinion on Evolutions has actually changed. I think the
okay
point is actually pretty correct. I need to do the proper evaluation again on the intrinsic value, but I think it's right. My mistake when I did intrinsic value is I did it based off of the raw price, when in reality I forget Pokemon is graded price.
Yep.
And that was my entire mistake, because again, I learned how to do intrinsic value off of Rudy and Magic, which is raw price. Redid it and I realized, oh yeah, $400 was stupid underpriced. Because a yellow cheeks Pikachu, or the yellow Pikachu in there at some point, being a reverse hollow, has a really high shot at a 10, and you pull like two or three of them in a box because they're pretty common. And if you were to get like 2 9s and a 10, you paid for the entire box. and then a bunch of the hollows, even in 9, for some reason, were expensive, even though 9s are super easy to get, and 10s are the impossible ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just see the product is popular, so the cards from it are popular, and the graded stuff, even though it's, there's a lot of it out there, still very popular. So yeah, prices are holding.
All right, so we're about to wrap up at 8 o'clock, so we're going to try and take care of these last questions.
Yeah, let's knock them out. Yeah.
All right. Why are the Champions Path ETBs $100 if the double V boxes sell for like 20 and the loose packs sell for maybe 5? Well, plain and simple, Mason said it earlier. The Charizard ETB is just a gorgeous ETB outright, no matter what anyone thinks, no matter if I dislike the product. It is a gorgeous ETB. And there's a free Charizard inside. Honestly, how many products have that? Think about it.
Yeah, I mean it in itself is, and ETBs are getting this way, and we see so many collectors of ETBs because they're just beautiful products and just a good representation of a set. So yeah, I mean, yeah, ETBs are going to be holding a premium here and going forward just because they are so cool and good representations of the Pokemon that are in them and just the set in general. And that set was all about the shiny Charizard, and it has a shiny Charizard on the box. So
yeah, shiny Charizard, Rainbow Rare Charizard. If you want to better understand how ridiculous the demand for ETBs became, remember those stupid plastic Target containers were literally being scalped because people wanted them for their ETBs.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. That was stupid, by the way. All right. Yeah. Long term, what will be the most highly sought after Sword and Shield standard set? Vivid Voltage, Rebel Clash? Yeah, that one, again, can't predict the future. No problem. Just want to say that always. It's a great thing to say. I'm pretty sure me and Mason agree on Vivid Voltage is pretty.
Yeah, it's in the question. It's in the question, yes.
Mm-hmm.
With more Sword and Shield sets, like Chilling Reign's going to be another Sword and Shield set too. And that's going to have a lot of alternate arts in it.
But right? Pikachu.
Yeah. Remember, it's not just Pikachu, it's Chunky Chew, like the OG design. People really like it. Think about it. Vivid Voltage is somehow competing and beating Battle Styles with its alternate arts, and Shining Fates, who is Hidden Fates 2.0.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on if they're going to reprint Vivid Voltage in this next mix of, hey, let's print things to the ground. If Vivid Voltage is in that, then maybe not. But based on what we know right now, I would say Vivid Voltage is the set that is most appreciated, is very popular still, is very unique, and has low enough print where it's going to have money in it for all time, forever.
Right on the border of it might not get the reprint size it needs.
I don't think it'd have to be
1-to-1
equal to it'd have to be equal to what was already released, I think, to catch up.
All right, guys. So we're getting late. We've had a pretty good run. I think we're gonna call it for tonight.
That's it. That's all we're gonna do. No, I'm kidding.
3 hours.
3 hours is funny. Cool.
Thank you guys for coming to watch this live stream. Thank you again, Mason, for coming on. Guys, go check out his channel if you haven't. I expect almost all of you have, because if you found me, you 100% know about this guy.
Yeah, well, you never know. Could be some crossover that we didn't get, but no, I appreciate everybody in the chat asking questions. That's awesome. Appreciate you guys keeping it flowing. Thanks for fun conversations,
All right. So thank you guys for watching this live stream, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.